Alright, we're live. Hello, welcome to another Streams of Spero. This is the War of the Lich King chapter, and this is episode 2. I am Benito, your humble DM, and in my small cast, we are minus Jackson for the moment. He will be joining us, but we will start with the group that we have. Starting with Caleb. Introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Caleb. I will be playing the Red Cat Hector.
Jen?
I'm Jen, and for those that have been with us for a while now, I am revisiting the character Russell, the Ranger Kenku.
And Gabe?
Hey, I'm Gable. I'll be playing Halhorn, or Hal, the Bard Wizard.
And Jacob?
Jake, I play Alaron, also known as Firebrand in some circles, and regular old wizard.
Last but not least. And you muted yourself, man.
I do that when I'm moving around, so you don't have to hear all that mess.
I
Here we
appreciate
go.
it.
Hi, everybody. I am Iwanika of Tabletop Journeys, and I am playing Hephaestus Kenrick Greystoke, designation HK.
And also...
Actually, I should amend that. Commander Hephaestus Kenrick Greystoke, designation HK.
And also slash Alric, his son,
Yes.
at this point. As we recap events, HK and Alron have returned to Greenwood. They are preparing to muster the forces, and they have found themselves, a bit to their delight, but not as many as they wanted, heroes arriving to help support the cause. They are preparing. They do realize that the Lich King has caused some mayhem and is preparing to move forces down, and they're quickly trying to marshal forces. By chance, a small needle thread as they got to know each other and learn, Hal stumbled into the house of Greystoke and kind of found a rabbit hole thread as he met HK's son, Alric. As he started the collaboration and then came back to notify his father that he was home, HK confronted his son, and in conversations he revealed that there's more to just Spero. There's a multiverse of worlds that exist out there. And he had been there, and as a Fae, he was kind of owed a favor. And he was able to cash in the favor because the person that he was looking to do it was Fae as well. And with that, we have done what I say is sort of broken, but in essence it has combined two campaign worlds from two different DMs, as the characters have crossed over. And a character of mine has now made it into my own world, thanks to the collaboration of my DM through characters of his own. So she has now, Mira Haldane has come through the gate. She has kind of made her appearance. Most of you are awed by this beautiful human woman. She is early 20s, late teens in that aspect there. Very well kept. I mean, you have never seen a woman with more elegance and grace, of nobility ever in your lives that you can think of. I mean, this is something beyond what anything has ever been seen on Spero for sure.
In 2 words,
Sounds like your character.
No, I'm just saying, it's a lot more cleaner world than mine. My world's messed up.
The most graceful.
She is.
2 words from Russell even. She'll mutter them under her breath for whoever listens. Girl, bye.
I would say, although she is in like more dress attire, you don't hear her steps. Like, it would be kind of, you'd expect the click of heels, stuff like that. She's quiet as hell. There is like, when I mean grace, there is definite grace to what she's about. She will look to Alric and go, "You have now summoned me again. What is it that I can do for you?" You're muted again.
Well, milady, Actually, I'm a little hmm, I'm a little I'm a little confused. Um, if I may, uh, are you currently using the title uh, Queen or Empress at this time?
Not quite yet. I'm still the princess, Alric.
Excellent. So, my wonderful princess, and Alaric then bows deeply. Um, thank you for coming to us. We have need of your assistance. We are facing a vast threat. Well, my father's facing a vast threat, and it could be very challenging for everything we deal with. So I am truly hoping that you would be able to lend aid.
You came to me in the aid in my most pressing moment, Alric. I told you I would pay that back. So what is this threat that disturbs you or puts such vex on all of you?
My father is the battlefield commander, as my sister, and they and their companions will explain these matters much better than I. I know they came to me in need, and I simply sought out the greatest ally I could think of, and that is you. But as they say, I shall make this as brief as possible without going into the volumes. And he gestures towards a bookshelf that will have like volumes of things on it, which will talk about this period of time in this place. But those aren't written yet. So we're going to stick with what we know at this moment. And of those things, a vast army controlled by a Lich and an army of undead. They march on this town. There is not time or ability to evacuate the people, and we have not enough heroes. There are objectives in this fight that my father will certainly illuminate better, and but your specific skills, I think, would be very useful in your ability to change the battlefield, put the right people in the right places, and I'm a believer in logic and the passage of times and the way things are supposed to be. But you, my princess, are most assuredly different than what I typically see. You have that thing that many call luck. I think others might call it preparedness, but with you it's different, and it's very reminiscent of the home of my upbringing. Um, you bring the Fey realm with you, and I think even before you knew you were of the Fey.
Okay. She kind of now looks up to HK. You are Commander Greystone?
I am.
And you are willing to give me command of the army for your defense?
I expected more of a specialist who had armies to join us, or a commander of armies that would join us. But if you are more of a tactician yourself, I would certainly appreciate your counsel and assistance in achieving our goals in the field. We have threats that we need to engage. Their numbers are vastly superior. We need to identify the correct threats and get to them and handle them before we are overwhelmed by numbers.
I have been fighting against overwhelming numbers for a long time. And I will say, I was tutored by one of the greatest tacticians of my world.
A general?
Not really a general, but someone who knows how to move pieces in terms of war and peace.
I see why my son likes you. There are times you speak very much in a very similar way to his mother.
I see that you are well experienced.
I am.
Your armor is worn, as are the blades on the hilts of your blades. They have seen much use.
They have.
You're
Generations.
You're also unique.
There are, and I say this not out of pride, but in the reality of my existence, to my knowledge, no other beings in the world like me. I am a warforged. I was a typical warforged. I was a member of the 4th Legion.
I don't know what legions are in this world, but I do know many warforged served in ranks of military units.
I was one of those, and I spent a great deal of time among the Fae and the Summer Queen in conjunction with the goddess Silk after consultation with my god Tyr has seen fit to have me changed. I am no longer what I was. I am what I am.
She kind of shovels a bit and goes, I see. From where I come from, there are really no beliefs in gods. But it is a slow faith of people trying to come to terms with at least a handful that are revealing themselves. But you say you have made counsel with the Summer Queen.
I have.
What is her name?
I refer to her as the Queen.
I understand that. But does she have a lore name that I would be more familiar with?
Ben Leonika has always just referred to her as the Queen. I believe it's Titania. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. All right. Summer Queen is known by the name Titania.
Titania. As I had believed, our courts are much different. Or factions. She is Seelie.
Leonika asking the question. That's a yes, right?
I think if you look to Jake Alron, he could nod that he knows that the summer and spring are Seelie. Autumn and winter are Seelie.
I thought that was the case. I just wanted
no
to make
worries.
sure it was it.
No worries.
It's been a while.
I'm pushing lore on you guys. That's kind of what, this is what you brought forth.
All right. Yes, she is Seelie.
I see you have a wizard about you.
I do. This is Elrond, the Firebrand, my closest friend.
Pleasure to meet you. I didn't know I was there.
He goes,
HK almost like lifted up his jaw because, like, yeah, I know Firebrand.
he goes,
I like Jim Carrey in the mask.
Pounding on the chest.
You look pretty experienced in the arts of magic as well.
Yeah. Somewhat experienced.
Somewhat.
I mean, there's always more to learn.
Spoken like a true seer. What powers have you brought to this town in its defense?
We just got back there, right?
Yep. Not too long. You've had a few days. You've been kind of like training. You remember the training montages you had going on?
Yeah. Listening to some cool tunes and train.
Yep. You were pushing a couple of the young kids.
Yeah. Kind of running through the woods holding logs.
Yeah. You were whipping him in shape as like a the old coach. But she doesn't know how. I mean, she's just got here, so that's the thing. You got to put a timetable to her.
We've just arrived back and have only now started working on preparing the defenses of the town.
Your symbolism appears to be evocation. Is that your school?
Yes.
I have just started learning the arts of magic and its abilities.
So yeah. Been known to play with fire a little bit.
I see. Do you summon other beings into your service?
Occasionally, just familiar, like an owl or somebody to help with, seeing in the area.
No other worlds?
No.
Is this something you seek to do?
Well, as I said, there's always more to learn. I'm always interested in learning more.
Do you choose spells to learn those things?
What do you mean, do I choose spells to learn?
I have learned to master one myself, which has helped me understand quite a bit around me. I do know that there are more, but I have not yet found those spells.
I haven't found any either.
Good to know.
Why I don't know them.
Interesting. She kind of turns her left, and she sees Bernard and goes, I see you also have very young and inexperienced warriors in your service.
We are working with what we have available to
Bernard
us.
kind of ducks his head and blushes a bit. She looks at Hal.
He makes up for what he lacks in experience with enthusiasm.
She goes, well, there's a bit of coin, at least in his armor, but I also do not see any much wear and tear in it. He is definitely inexperienced. She looks to Hal and goes, and you have a bard in your ranks as well?
Yes, that's Hal. Would you like to introduce yourself, Hal?
Princess Mira. A pleasure to meet you. Yes, my name is Hal, and I am indeed a bard.
Are you well known in these worlds, in this land?
I'd like to think so.
She kind of looks at Alric and goes, I don't think I've ever really ran across much of a bard that was humble. This one is definitely another unique one.
I've yet to meet one who was humble either, but he's growing on me.
We never checked his credentials.
Russell and Hector
I'm
are
just
not.
thinking that.
Yeah. Russell and Hector aren't in the room, I don't think either, right? Am I correct? I know Hector isn't. Russell, you're not in the room either? I don't think you followed.
I
Hector's
don't
probably
remember.
creeping around.
Yeah.
If she's there, I've already got a mindset of where she is. So.
Well, we kind of play that you were.
There or not.
So she looks at you and goes, she'll go, well met, Kenku. Your people are very astute at picking up on things. Well, nice to meet you.
Russell will bow deeply with a flourish of her wings. Take her hand, kiss, like really it's a peck. But
Yeah.
she's gonna kiss her hand and say, my lady. And then she will turn to HK and Firebrand and go, what the hell am I, shite?
You know we always save the best for last, Russell.
And HK kind of smirks and points at Firebrand what he said.
All right.
Russell is a good friend who's been away for a while, but we have fought alongside each other for quite some time, bringing us to this point.
All right. I would like to see this place that I'm at, its defenses, the soldiers that you do have, and what I have for resources that I can best utilize things about.
Excellent. We will definitely give her the tour, introduce her to folks, try to catch up with Hector as well.
Okay. So on the tour, like 15 minutes in, Hector, you will be brought before HK and Mira. Are the rest of you allowing HK to do the tour, just the two of them, and you guys could do something else, or do you wish to follow along? It's more or less.
I'll follow along.
Hal follows along.
Russell being where she comes from is following quite closely and watching closely.
Okay.
It's a very intriguing moment.
Alric will apologize profusely and say that he will stay behind, and he looks at Mira and he says, "Milady, I must stay behind. There is much preparation that I must do to focus on this time and place so that I am more fully present and less scattered."
Take your time, Alric. I'll return soon.
And I promise you, when you return, I will definitely be in a better frame of mind. But I should let you know that your mere presence does center me. Any time and place you are is a time and place that I would be at my best.
Charming as always.
Russell snickers to herself.
My princess, my queen, my empress, and my lady. And he bows and he goes back to his books and stuff. And anybody who happens to do any kind of checking on what he's doing, he's actually doing this on purpose. He's now trying to do some things that are impressive and a bit odd. So he's using prestidigitation to kind of like make it look like he's shifting his position, like he's not necessarily walking, like it's almost like time skipping from places to places. He's not actually doing that. He's actually purposely trying to make odd appearances. Anybody who's arcane, I don't even think you need to check, kind of know what he's doing.
I'll look at him.
But anybody else, it'll just look weird.
What is HK's passive perception?
HK's passive is massive.
That's what she said.
I've been saving that all week. 23.
23?
Damn!
Does anyone have a better than 23 passive perception? Okay.
Mira.
No, she's actually the same.
Right?
Oh,
But she's not here.
But I will say, as you guys are now going through, because you are astute. I'm imagining HK is doing what he always does, is trying to gauge who he has in front of him. This is definitely someone at your level. So when you talk about what you remember, the Silk and the Raven Queen telling you are at the Titan level, this woman is disarmingly is that. The other freaky thing is you can't pick up any noise on her. Like, she is beyond quiet. Like, they say quieter than a mouse. She's quieter than a mouse. And it seems to be sort of kind of doing it, but she's doing it in a way that doesn't seem like feasibly possible. Like, you kind of get the idea that this is she may look like a noble lady, but she's probably a very skilled rogue / maybe assassin. It's in your view. And she will have, although I will say now, out of the one thing that she's got close by, she's sort of using as a kind of on her hip from the back, will be one blade, a long sword that is in her possession. All other things look like she has no armor. She has decorative bracers on her, but you don't see any other thing that would symbolize that she has any other magic on her, besides rings. I would say those two. So you're going around, you give the tour. Hector, you come upon the entourage that is this party now, following on with her. We've talked about what some surprising senses that you have about this, but I'll let HK still introduce you.
Hector, I'd like you to meet our latest ally, This is Mira. I'm sorry, Princess Mira Haldane.
This one is Hector. Sort of just he stops in his swaying and sort of surprisingly drops to one knee. It is a pleasure to meet the lady.
You have Fae forces here, as she looks to HK.
For a time, I was the Knight of the Summer. I protected the Knight of the Summer Court.
The Knight of the Summer Court. What titles does that mean?
Basically, the person in charge of the forces of the Summer Court. That was, at the time, my friend, Firebrand.
Do you still
For
hold...
reasons, he has left that position. The Summer Queen was quite angered, and I brokered a peace. Towards that end, my family and I resided in the Fae Court for a great deal of time in our lives, or less time here. My son grew up there, learning from them. He is known as the... Yeah, so I get the actual title here. He is known as the Midsummer Sorcerer. And my daughter, Diana, has taken the position of the Summer Knight. And that was by my promise to the Summer Queen. She would end her vendetta against my friend as long as I was willing to provide my daughter to take his place.
Mira goes, intriguing. I think I was close to having this title of Queen. My court of summer is ruled by my grandfather. It is how I have the Fae blood in my body. She looks at Alron and goes, I also too did not take the mantle to the court. I also had other things I wish to do. So I hold nothing against you. But it seems like you have now done much to have these summer forces before us.
We fight a combined enemy. There's a god war here. My particular god, the god who gifted me with my changes, another god known as the Raven Queen, are trying to come to this world and be in this place, but they are fighting a terrible conflict. And while friends of ours are trying to stop this conflict, in the interim, we have any number of forces and threats that are threatening innocent people. I choose to stand with the innocent and protect them, while my friends try to get the gods to stop their war.
I am going to have to take time to understand these god things. It is not something I am quite understanding, especially of these levels of power. I am dealing with just a Lich here. Is that correct?
Correct. A threat set loose by one of the gods to occupy our time and split our focus.
Okay.
And my goal is to end that threat as quickly as possible so that we can return our focus to stopping this greater problem. I just will not allow the massacre of innocents for those other goals. And towards that end, we are on the very edges of the Feywild here. And with the veil so thin based on everything else that's happening, the Summer Queen even is aware that these threats can come to her. So she has sent help. in the form of my son, Hector, and those that he commands.
Well, we'll see how that turns out. Well, let us
Russell
continue
will-
to check things around.
Russell will make a throat clearing noise that sounds to some people remarkably like June. And then she says, I am of the Autumn Court.
She serves a different court?
Yes.
Awesome.
Just saying.
What is
We
your
are-
queen's nature in this, Russell?
For a panicked second, she glances at T, not around. And she clacks her beak in frustration as she has done previously, and then she will exactly mirror HK's voice and say, God, I can't remember exactly what you said, Lee. So whatever he said about the gods and threatening and this threatens us all, kind of a thread. It's kind of broken, and she's like trying to piece it together.
They come for one of us, they come for all of us.
Okay. So your courts here have a little bit more of an alliance-ship than mine. That is good
It
to
is
know.
tenuous. It is tenuous. However, we were friends before the politics of courts were a problem between us. We do serve our various courts, and we will do what we are honor-bound to do, or promised to do. But generally speaking, this is just a threat. And the Liches, the forces that we're against, they will come for the Fae as easily as they will come for us. What happens after that is, I hope we can part ways amiably. HK is directly staring at Hector without further violence, or violence amongst each other, and we can return to the way the courts were in the Feywild, and we can return to the way things are here in Spero.
Point of order, when you glance at Hector, he's looking down. He seems very still. He's the stillest you've seen him. The only movement is he seems to be in a quiet, tongue-lashing argument with the shadow behind him, which is, of course, his shadow, red cat.
Would I be able to get an insight to get an idea of what's causing him to behave absolutely so different? I mean, I guess I could theorize it might have something to do with Mira, but more
Yeah.
like a better idea of how that would work.
Yeah, I'll give you insight, and then Hector, you decide persuasion or deception. You don't have to tell which one you used. Just tell us the score against it.
It's not terrible. It's a 16. I'm just trying to ascertain, like, the reason.
Yeah. Good to know your party dynamics.
How do I roll on this again?
You can just hit the either deception or persuasion, depending on what you want to use. If you just want to also hit it to yourself, that way you can know, or to me. Because if it's for everyone, it might show the skill check that you chose.
I won't be looking at it because that's on a different screen for me, so you can roll it whatever way is easiest. I won't know.
What was his roll? I
16.
rolled very high.
16.
So you can you can allow me to, if you're using deception, you can allow me to have any idea that you want me to have if you beat me. And if you are using the other one, then I get no particular read.
Yeah, don't get any particular read other than the obvious that he's not acting the way he was 2 seconds ago.
maybe you get the fact that he's submissive in an aspect, but you don't know why.
Yeah,
Alright.
Definitely
maybe
out of
that.
character.
So I can confirm the behavior, but I have no insight as to the reason
Why,
for the
yeah.
behavior, which is
Correct.
really what I was trying to get at.
Yep.
That's cool. That makes sense. But that
Um,
also tells me how competent Hector is.
Russell's will step towards the middle of the group near to HK and Firebrand and say, in a couple of different voices here, I once protected Firebrand. And then she will present, she'll hold open her hand, and she's going to hold out a ring
Mm-hmm.
to Firebrand and another in her other hand to HK.
HK will take the ring.
Protection.
So ring of protection. Okay.
Oh, wow. I don't know if you can have 2 rings of protection.
Yeah, I don't know how many.
Oh,
Can you stack
hey.
these?
You
I am not,
Russell, Russell
I'm
doesn't
not
know what
sure
y'all
about
do or don't have.
you
so
can,
If you,
but they do require attunement though, so that's why you can
Yes.
stack
I
them,
have-
but
I
you have
have-
to have
I
slots.
have 2 magic items, and that's already one of them.
Well, you can get a second and get another one on. That helps.
I actually don't think I have.
and then with a flourish, she'll present one to Mira.
Okay. She will take the ring.
And you just have those.
A lot of bullet of entry.
She'll look at Hal and just kind of, there's a little, like, toddler-sounding, childish giggle that comes from her beak. And if you guys are actually accepting them, I have to remove.
Yeah. So what did you actually give her another ring of protection? So it was 3 rings of protection.
I had 3,
Wow.
so I hand those 3 out.
Okay. You will notice that Mira does have a very similar one, but one of exquisite beauty in her.
I mean, if y'all don't want them, you can hand them back.
No, she takes them, but I'm just letting you know. I'm just giving you a sense of what she's jacked on, type of thing. All right. So that interaction, Mira's kind of interested in all that, and she's gonna go. Will help follow around the town a little bit more.
Well, then she's gonna look. She's observed people. She's kind of gotten a little bit of thoughts about people and whatnots. So then she's gonna turn to Hal, and she's gonna hold out a medallion.
You are fascinating. I'll take it.
It looks like a gold. It's got a gold chain with a gold skull on the end. And she cocks her head and looks at you, but she doesn't say anything.
Heh. Is this a good thing? Looks sort of foreboding.
She'll glance over at Firebrand. She knows what it is. She just can't say what it is. She didn't have the words.
Mira will say something, wave her hand a little bit, says some magical words, and then she goes, "Ring of identifying." So, what is it?
It is a medallion of oh shoot, I already deleted it. Detect thoughts.
Oh.
Shows medallion of detect thoughts. I would warn you, don't go prodding into mine. You may find more than one.
Oh, Princess, I wouldn't dream of it. Very disrespectful. It would be.
Alright. She's going about the town. HK, you kind of move around. She's like, this is definitely a very small town, HK. I don't even see a single defensible thing of it. Are you sure this is where you want to make a stand?
We have no place else to go. There's the woods to the north, which is either the Fey Realm or where they're coming from. And to the south, it's open land and eventually forest for far longer than we could ever outrun an army.
Alright, you're doing that. Hector, you stay behind, I imagine.
Alright, wait, I think we follow. I think we follow and we try to stay close.
Close, or just within eyes, like visual?
I'd say we attempt to get like close enough to like intercept type close.
Okay. All right. Ket is going to be with you. Why don't you roll a stealth to see how nearby you are without being obvious?
That's in the nat 20.
Natural 20. Perfect. What is that for a total, though?
23.
23. Awesome. Okay. HK, you will barely catch these. Like, you know that the red caps are following, or at least two of them.
Yeah.
That you will barely hear this conversation. Like, it's very whispery to you. Ket looks at you, Hector, and goes, Who is the pretty lady? Why do we follow?
I jab him with an elbow and say,
Close your nose. I do not smell it.
Yes, I smell Faye. So who's she?
No, smell harder. Feel the breeze that follows her. Listen to the rustle of the leaves.
Is she?
Close your eyes. Feel the sun beating down on you.
She's Summer.
But it is not her. It is strange.
She's like Summer. Like the lady.
Like the lady. Or she is the lady. She's not the lady. Hector does not understand.
What does this mean to us?
It means we must speak to this one named Lady Mira. This so-called princess. If it is the queen in disguise, we must know. We cannot allow these mortals to offend her.
We follow her now?
Yes.
She the new lady of Summer?
that starts a fight. Hector doesn't know.
Alright, you bop Ket in the eye. He yields. He already knows you're the stronger one, so.
Nobody heard this exchange?
Only HK is his passive. I'm sorry, is too high.
Damn. Only because that phrase, rustle of the leaves, I mean, that's my name!
Yep. Okay, so that went on HK as you guys move along, and just continue to check out everything. Let us see. Anything really taverns like that? Well, she goes, all right. So I take it your house that we came out of, which I notice is Feywork, is going to be the headquarters of our operation. Oops. She goes up around and goes, I take it that the house that we left, your house, because it has Fey architecture, will be the headquarters to this operation?
Yes.
Alright. Is there anything you wish to ask of me, I suppose, to be fair? I've grilled you quite a bit on everything.
I have a tendency to take my son at his word. He would not bring me somebody who is not capable, so I will trust you with that. But knowing where the specifics of your skill set lie, so that we can make plans that best utilize them, I don't want to put you in positions where you are either being underutilized or in over your head.
That's kind of a funny old statement for you to say. My father used to do quite a bit of that, trying to keep me out of the wrong positions, but he did train me very, very well, Hephaestus. I will be quite fine. I'm very resourceful and very well educated and trained in all matters of danger and finding things out that I need to. Do you have a tailor?
This is a small town. Any number of people can make clothing.
Good. I will need more of a war attire than my dress.
Certainly. What kind of garb would you prefer?
Oh, silk is fine, but just something that will be more covering, so I'm not ruining my great dress.
I was referring to armor.
I don't need any armor.
I have a great number of friends who do not need armor. My friend Firebrand, for instance, he doesn't wear armor. That is perfectly okay because I am his shield. If you do not wear armor, who and where is your shield?
A good friend of mine would say Mercion would be my shield.
I know not this Mercion, but I know well enough to know when, how is it that scribe once said at the purser's office? When the final punctuation is on the page, the meeting is adjourned.
Interesting coin adage. So you're a faithful man now.
I am. I'm a paladin of Tyr.
Ah. So you're strong in devotion.
I am.
So you are with this goddess, Silk, from what I've heard, and the Summer Queen. That is where your devotion lies?
I am devoted to my god Tyr. My wife is devoted and patronized by the goddess Silk. Members of our party are of our greater group, not those present, are paladins of the Raven Queen.
I see.
So we have a great deal of faith in 4 of the deities that are engaged in this conflict. My god is one who preaches balance, and that's what we seek to do.
2
Provide
guards
balance.
approach you now, Lee. Your group?
Yep.
Sam and Lonnie. Sam goes, Commander,
Yes.
there's an elf outside the town, says he knows you. Wishes to speak. We wouldn't let him in.
Well, we should go meet him. What does he look like?
Did you get his name?
Oh, shit. He smacks
Come
Lonnie.
on, guys.
Oh, I didn't know. I just thought it was another one of those elves that were already harassing us. So, I'm sorry. Looks like, goddamn, get the name. Well, we don't used to doing this, Commander. All right, they lead you out, and you see an elf that you happen to recognize.
We see the shoulder of an elf.
He's hiding. He's behind the wall.
Yeah, that was dramatic.
Well, that's actually quite dramatic because I did not know this was happening.
Well, some of us. Russell doesn't.
Hail, Captain.
Lord Androsius.
Well met. Good evening. I have traveled far to find you.
Excellent. What news do you have from the front?
I still walk. While Zindred and I may not have done what we sought out to do, we have also left St. Augustine with our heads on our shoulders. Smaller victories.
I'll take that. I'd rather have my allies by my side than in the ground at my feet. We are still allies, are we not?
Is there a reason we would not be?
Word has reached my ears that Jew has turned on our cadre.
What does that mean? In terms of what
He will-
shape does this betrayal take?
He has, as opposed to gaining the aid of the northern tribes, he has destroyed their leadership and conquered them.
Is that his people's way?
I imagine that there are some who would say that, but I do not, based on what little I have heard, and I absolutely need much more intelligence, feel that that was done in an effort to then aid us. I think they are going rogue, so to speak, doing their own thing, and they have become yet another challenge that we will have to deal with at some point. We have other things that remain at the forefront of our attention, but that may in fact be a problem we have to handle.
Jew would never betray us. Maybe he's gathering his tribes as forces to aid us.
Alaron, you know the armor he was wearing. You
What armor
know
was he
how that
wearing?
was affected. Some
Wait,
evil
what?
thing.
I have known many evil suits of armor, HK. Can you be more specific?
I would then, if possible, I'm going to describe it visually because, and I don't know if you want me to make a history roll to be able to be as accurate as possible to give the kind of description that.
Now you've seen that
make.
up
Yeah.
and close, every detail, and
Yeah.
Androsius would know that armor. A little bit more elaborate than you recall, but very, very similar.
HK would not know the name that goes with it, but he's effectively describing Curse's armor.
Versus armor.
Wait, what?
You had to be there 30 years ago.
Androsius, this is just for you to kind of go into play.
Yeah.
There is a Kenku who's been jabbering at this moment, that you hear a lot of this stuff like that. There is a half-elf, which apparently is a bard, because you see the loop and all that going on, along with Alarian, HK, and a attractive human who looks like a noble lady in a red dress, or a green dress, I think I had her. And she has a sword on her, on the hilt. That's the only thing that looks like she's armed. Otherwise, she's completely out of place.
Okay.
But those are people who are watching you in your exchange.
Yeah, I mean, if they arrived to greet me with HK, I would assume that they are with him.
Mhm.
And honestly, not pay them too much mind at this immediate moment while I'm getting caught up.
So, as you can see, Jew is definitely going to be a concern for the future.
From what I remember of that armor, there may not be Jew, there may only be curse. Jew ain't home, man.
Then, when the time comes, I will do what must be done.
So will we all.
I would like to introduce you to a new ally, the Princess Mira Haldane.
Pleasure to meet you.
Princess of...
A city you will not know.
She comes from another world. She was brought here by my son.
Seems that Seems that there is a lot of that going around. I am also from a different world that you would not know. However,
Becoming much more common.
However, I know the last name Haldane.
Interesting.
Try me for size, Your Highness. What city are you from?
Verlandon.
There wasn't a city Verlandon on Alanis, was there? I didn't think so.
No.
That name sounds familiar, but I'm trying now. I'm crossing the streams. Like, it's going to be
It is by and Lewanika giving you the quick reminder. It is Lady Kiri's last name.
Yeah.
And the name of Lady Kiri's human mother.
Right.
But they were from the Forgotten Realms, and this person is not from the Forgotten Realms.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No, I knew the last name. Yeah. That's so. Okay. Fair. Well, that's Your Highness.
In Jew's voice, having heard the name of the town finally, in Jew's voice, don't mean shit to me.
May I ask? You were at another city of this place,
I was. I just returned from St. Augustine.
gathering forces, or what was it your quest was?
And Drosius will get a wry smile. In audience with Zeus.
And who is Zeus?
He is the chief of the pantheon in this world.
The gods, yes, of course.
Currently.
You're a lot with these gods.
There seems to be much afoot on the steps of Olympus. I think is how they would say it. These gods are foreign to me also too, Your Highness. I do not know these gods.
And where are you from?
I am also from a world that is not here.
I've humored you with mine. Would you humor me with yours?
My people are from the island city of Misa. I called the city of Kalashtar home. Deshkar.
She goes, is Misa in Alanis?
It is. Sort of.
I've read about your world.
It is both part of Alanis and not.
Yes. Your world brought me into this possibility. Merryweather? Is that a name you know?
He will laugh out loud when you cite Merryweather and say he is a halfling of some renown who wrote travel books. I guess that's probably the best way to put it.
Travel books. But
Merryweather's Glance was the name of the books thing.
your realm is a dread realm. Shadowfell holds dreadlords type of thing, correct?
It is indeed... Well, Alanis was a dread realm. Whether Misa was part of Alanis and part of its dread realm or its own entity altogether is for some debate, but so that we don't have that debate now, I'll say yes, but understand that there is perhaps more context there than we have time for.
Understand. And how did you get here?
I lived a full life in my land. I grew to an old age. I wandered into the sunset and strode across the silvery shores and found myself here.
Your movement, is that a metaphor to the realm of spirits for the dead?
I was dead and now I am not.
The gods brought you back?
I do not know who brought me back.
The Raven Queen.
The goddess.
Is the story.
See. So this goddess has brought back him from a world or dread realm. So the
As I
movement is possible.
understand it, our worlds, Alanis and Spero, are becoming one.
How do you know
And
this?
I was told this by, we were told this in some by the gods, and the gods themselves are vying for supremacy with all the mortals here and there in the line of fire.
This war of the gods. So there are two sides to this, and we are the mortal forces on the earth that are divvying up the worship, I take it?
So, yes, even though members of our greater group are devotees to specific gods on specific sides, we have thus far been pretty resolute in making sure we are protecting mortals while trying to temper, as much as anyone can temper a god, their actions.
HK, I don't mean to interrupt, but I think that there's a possibility that has been discussed that you may not be aware of.
Then perhaps we should retire to the house and discuss that. Do you think, Lord Androsius, that are you comfortable with everybody being present? I am definitely comfortable with Lady Mira, Alaron, Firebrand being present for this discussion. Possibly my son.
I think my comfort or discomfort with any of you is not of tantamount importance.
Excellent. Then all of us should return to the house. Russell,
Okay.
please don't be upset.
So you guys head back to the house. Androsius, what is your passive perception?
23.
You also are...
Nothing gets by this group, baby.
Yeah.
Nothing. Not a daggone
I want to let you know, Mira Haldane is in a dress and heels, more or less. You do not hear her walking.
Okay.
That is very uncannily weird.
Even among elves who were famous for moving silently, it's weird.
Even among... As far back as you can remember, you don't know an elf quieter than this woman.
Okay. I will never take my eyes from her. I will always position myself around the room so that I know precisely where she is, if that's the case. If I can't hear her, I'm damn well going to see her.
Okay. You will also... You will also now pick up, because you're kind of now clocking where she's going to go. You will notice the hilt of the blade is of a make that you have also not seen of this, of Spero even.
Is it something that I saw? Is it like a black blade with red veining?
No, she has
like
not.
that?
You can only see the hilt. It is sheathed.
Yeah.
But the iconic iconic stuff on the hilt, some of the heraldry stuff like that, isn't stuff that you're not familiar with out of both places. Like, it's not Alanis, and it's definitely not Spero either.
Okay.
Right. Type of thing.
I mean, which makes sense. I mean, she says she's from another world, so.
Yep, but it's definitely kind of. Again, I'm just trying to feed on your passive perception, the stuff that you're clicking and clocking on. She doesn't look
nothing
like.
Nothing that a history roll would give me any chance to go ahead and piece together.
Yeah, I'll give you a chance, but it's going to be just to confirm more of that. You're not picking up anything what it is. So.
Right. Yeah. More to say. Yeah, I for sure don't know what the hell it is. Right.
But maybe.
That will be a 17.
The only thing you can do is the script looks elvish, but it's not elf that you know.
Yeah. Okay.
I will also add, of all the people, Hal, Russell, they are pretty well armored individuals. Like, they're in their proper adventuring gear that you'd expect out of people.
Sure.
There are also 2 red caps that are following the troop.
Red caps as in, like, the Fae?
Yep.
Yep.
They seem to be in the
Yeah.
town.
We weird up in here.
They are going to be a little unsettling, I'll warn you.
We accept a lot of different company.
We're fighting an army of the undead. We're going to take what we can get at this point.
Yeah, anybody alive.
Russell lean over and go, what the
If HK was a swearing robot, he would absolutely repeat that.
Alright, so those are the things that you're past. I mean, as I said, Lady Haldane looks like she's going to court. Besides the sword, that's it. Everything else looks very like a princess or someone, a lady you'd just murder if you were attacking her type of thing.
Cool. Okay.
So you will get to the house. The one thing you will notice immediately, the house is very ornate. You are seeing iconic symbolisms of Eldaron inscription to summer in a lot of the artwork in the near the frames and stuff like that in this house. You can definitely tell that this house was enchantedly built.
Okay.
As you are met by the butler, he escorts you all in. He gets the fire's been going, so you can all have time in the living room, and he will serve great Fey wine.
I will make a note that apparently HK's wallet has upgraded.
Okay. Who drinks of the wine?
It's my house.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't drink, but
Yeah. Hal, you drink? You've already drank,
Oh,
so.
yes.
Russell, you drink?
I-
And Josias, do you drink?
I drink only from the water skin that I brought.
Okay.
HK will say, "This is my home. I will
Not,
not."
you're not even asking me?
I
We
know you
you're
drink.
like
No one needs to ask you, Jacob. You're like, goddamn, give me the bottle. Takes the bottle off the thing from the butler. We already know you got it in. Okay.
Look, Alfred, the jug's a little light today. Keep it coming.
What is everyone's passive investigation?
12.
12?
15.
16.
9.
Okay. All right. So you're in conversation. I'm gonna hold on to that note, Jacob. You're the only one. So in a moment, I'm going to pick on. I love it that you actually have something that everyone else don't know.
Yeah, well, I made him. He's Dresden. He's an investigator.
I love it. It's gonna work. Okay. So they're all sitting down. You guys are having wine. The fire's crackling. Everyone kind of relaxes. So, Androsius, I guess the floor is yours.
And Alric will kind of enter just as Androsius is speaking. He doesn't particularly drink, or he doesn't reach for a drink, but as he does his weirdness thing and he kind of sits down, a drink just appears in his hand.
How old does Alric look?
Alric, today he's looking like he's in his early 20s. But you will notice, for those who've seen him at variant times, even earlier today, at this point he has a streak of gray hair, and it looks like his hair is graying at the temples.
And last I saw you, did you have a child in tow? Like, did I know you have a kid? You had a kid.
You know he has a child. He's never spoken about his age, specifically. So based on what you do know, the timeline of when he and Vivian got married and had children, Alric is probably 20 some odd years older than he should be.
Okay. All right. So as we sit down and as everyone has their drinks, I will basically recount the events that Zindrid and I went through in St. Augustine, where we went to the city. We were given an audience with high-ranking members of the city who, while they found our request unusual, gave us far more latitude than I think that they were inclined to because of the adventures that we were able to regale and the information that we were able to give them. We already, for example, because we knew, for example, that Hermes had been slain, that actually pieced together information for them that they did not understand at this moment, because their clerics of Hermes had lost connection and did not know why. While we were there, the head cleric of the Church of Apollo lost connection to his deity in the same way, leading us to suspect that Apollo is also slain. And ultimately it seemed like we were going to get our audience with at least the High Cleric of Zeus and then petition to attend the mountain itself. And then things began to change. Sindred and I were visited by another god of Alanis's pantheon, Loki, the god of mischief, who tempted Zindred and I with baubles that we did not take, and basically bade us to not go on what everyone assumed would be a suicide mission. But one thing that became clear as Zindred and I were speaking and as everything was going on, there's definitely one side that is fighting the gods that are here. I'm not sure that there are two sides to this war. Something doesn't feel right about the way that the Olympians are not responding in some way. So,
is this an Olympian civil war that they're masking behind the entrance of the new gods?
That's a great question. The one thing that kind of continues to sit in my craw and that I have yet to reconcile. There are gods of this world and there are gods of my world that were two faces of the same coin. So they were different manifestations of the same being, right? For lack of a better phrase. So there has always been a connection between those gods and the gods of Alanis, and so this is just another slip in. This isn't a big gigantic war or cataclysm. Think of it more as two fault lines that are rubbing against each other.
Miragos,
and boulders are falling off.
If I'm to understand, you're saying two gods of Alanis exist
Correct.
in the pantheons of the Olympic gods.
Correct. They are different incarnations of the same being. I don't believe that they were the same actual thing. I think that it was more like both of them are representations of a being, but neither of them were the true face of the being. If that makes any sense whatsoever.
My understanding of the gods is they are all... They are beings that represent a power, or a domain of power, a force within the world.
Correct. That's sure.
And if those forces are universal between worlds, then the same force may have a different look in different places.
Yes, that's a correct statement. However, that's not the complete story of what I'm saying. I am saying that these same gods existed in both pantheons. Not gods with the same power, not gods with the same name. These same beings in different incarnations existed in both pantheons. There was a tie between them. It's not that, I knew Greystokes and you are a Greystoke. It is not that sort of a situation. It is as if there was an HK in my world that was also you.
And do these two beings know of each other, or do they not know of each other?
Oh, they absolutely know of each other. They are, in fact, working with the usurper gods.
I might need you to define that.
The gods who are muscling their way into Spero.
From what I understand, this merging was going to happen, whether at the hands of new gods or old, because of what Hades was trying to do.
I understand that that's your understanding. I have heard you say it numerous times. I ask you to think about the source of that information.
As you have, and I'm asking you, do you have any information that contradicts that statement? Other than your lack of trust of the source.
I mean, my lack of trust does not perhaps scratch the surface of my experience with your god.
My god is Tyr.
Is it?
Yes.
That is a matter for some debate for later times. We have other things to attend to, I suppose.
I would agree. So, at this point, with the undead bearing down on the defenseless, with your report, are you here to help us with this? Are you here to give us another errand? Are you here to what? Exactly?
I am here to help, as Loki offered me the opportunity to come and assist. I have taken that opportunity to help.
Then, Lord Androsius, one I would like to call friend, and I hope someday you will be able to call me friend. Graciously accept your assistance. We need all the help we can get. As of right now, all I know is when the army presents itself, the goal will be to identify, locate the Lich leading them, and get as many of our principals as close to him as possible. Now, as we do that, there may be a need for others to help hold back the tide. And he turns to Hector. That's where I need you to come in. He looks at Jacob and says, that's where I likely will need you to come in. We are going to need you to hold back the tide. How we may need you in the face of the undead to bolster the morale and keep people going. But it will be Russell, it will be Alaran, it will be myself, it will be Lady Mira, and whatever assistance my son can provide and knowledges. We are going to have to go against the Lich King. We are going to have to go against the Lich King's lieutenants. We're the ones that are going to have to be the spearhead to take out their leader.
Wherever it can be most useful.
I understand. And he smiles, and in a jesting kind of way. You're fairly decent with a bow. My guess would be we're going to need some cover fire.
I can do that. There are shots that only I can make.
Alric and Aileron, we definitely need to know as much information about the lieutenants that will be accompanying the Lich King as we possibly can. Whatever information you can gather and find, and Hal, I would appreciate your efforts in this matter. If you can learn tales, stories, if there's anything that you can help us find out about who and what we're going to be dealing with specifically, that will be critical. That information will be essential to assigning who needs to go after which enemy, if at all possible, putting our best efforts towards their weakest points, to perhaps mitigate some of the numerical advantages they will have. Hector, when the undead show, I need you and the Redcaps you command to do your unseelie best to rend those unholy entities from this land, as though they were attacking your own. As long as they are of and from the Lich King, you will be unfettered by my rule as far as what you need to do to them to make sure they don't rise up again.
These enemies, they are controlled by the Lich, yes?
To the best of my knowledge, they are commanded by the Lich. As far as control, that's the information that I'm hoping my son and Elrond can find.
You ask
Prince-
us to go into a bloodless war. We have no purpose killing things that which cannot bleed. How do we soak our camps?
I am not entirely sure that they are all undead. In previous incarnations, they have also marshaled werewolves, and who knows what other legions they may enthrall. We know that the undead is the largest part of their army, but we don't know everything about them yet. So there's hope for your caps yet.
Will everyone, a side glance, in this table will be participating in the fight, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Another sidelong glance.
Then we will fight, yes. Of course, that is our orders from our Summer Queen.
Excellent. Princess Mira.
Yes?
Given what little we know now, knowing that more information hopefully will come, where do you think your skill set would best apply?
I'm usually very good at strategy. All the things that you have in place. Once I know exactly what we're up against and what I have for resources, I have been known to move things about with forces in their most opportune and advantageous positions. But if you need a blade, I'm skilled with a blade as well.
Okay. So for now, we need more information. I'm going to work with Jacob and the rest of the ground forces here. Try to get them drilled and in place. We've got what scouting we have to give us as much early warning as possible. I would say that this council should meet at noon here at the house, and again at dusk, to recap any information that may be found by our researchers. Update and basically update us on what we know and what we found out. Lord Androsius, however you would like to spend your days, there are those who will be using bows and arrows, I'm sure, and your expertise might be would be very good in helping train them. Perhaps we might even be able to get them to be more effective.
I'm sure they would greatly appreciate a chance to learn from an archer skilled as yourself.
Flattery will get you everywhere. Of course I will train your archers.
Excellent. So we have a plan.
Okay.
Here.
So you guys are all breaking up?
Yep.
Mira and Auric are going to do some study, I think.
Okay.
But Did you say you had Alaron doing something?
I was gonna have Alaron do some studying as well. I don't know if he
Just
wants
study?
to join them specifically, or he's got his own way to do that, as well as Hal. I figured basically those would be like they probably have 4 different sets of resources to kind of go into and different ways to approach, like figuring out who the Lich King has with him, and what we need, and what's coming at us, and to get us that information. I'm just going to work on drilling the ground troops, and Josie's going to work on the archers. And then I will secretly step aside with Russell and say, I need you to do what you do best and just be my eyes and ears where I cannot be. If you think it's interesting and it may impact the decisions I have to make, Russell, please let me know.
T? You remember that her companion before was a halfling named T.
I do. I think it would be odd for T to be terribly far from you at any given point. So, however you need to go about that, you and T, the best tandem I know to take on this job.
We can spill the tea.
Excellent. And please forgive me if it sounds like I am forgetting you or downplaying your role. I think you'll be more effective if people do not have you on the top of their tongues.
She'll kind of raise her nose, her beak. Be like, mm-hmm.
The best spies are not known until the war is done.
Me too. That's gotta go in my vocabulary.
Mira tried that
How
for
did
a
that
long
go?
time.
How did that go again, Luminica?
The best spies are not known until the war is done.
I love having to write down vocabulary. Not.
What a great line to use in bardic stories.
She'll look at Lee, give him like a wink. I'm sorry, not at Lee, at HK. Give him like a wink, and say, "That slaps," and then she'll walk away.
Excellent. I will also let Androsius know this is my home. I will not be using the Fey rules of hospitality to bind you to anything or any way, nor would any of that work with those in my employ. If you were offered food or drink in my home by me or my household, you are bound by nothing.
I would have expected that to be the case if you call me friend.
Absolutely, but you turned down the wine.
Yes.
Never.
But now that you bring it up.
I guess I'm not used to an elf who does that.
How many
Alaron,
elves are you used to?
Alaron, just to note as well,
One,
Mira did not drink the wine
two,
either.
three. I did.
Did you get that, Jake?
That Mira didn't drink the wine
Yeah,
either.
Josias and Mira did not drink of the wine. She held it like she was accepting of it, which is why no one else picked up on it but you.
I was under the impression that Hector wasn't offered wine.
You were not.
Yeah,
No one knew you were really there.
Wouldn't drink it anyway. Wouldn't
No.
probably bite the cup, maybe.
Aileron noticed because when the jug was empty, he was looking around for a cup that still had some in it.
Yeah. I suddenly switched my cup and Mira's cup in her hand. So I'm not going to drink it anyway. So now she's holding my empty one and I have her full.
So HK's playing
Okay.
Luanika, and Alron's playing Jacob. Got it.
Shocker, right?
All right, so you guys are pretty well
Party for the
situated.
ages.
Hal, what were you gonna do?
Let's see, if Elron is going to do some study,
You gotta work on the most motivational song ever written.
oh, that's when I'm writing stuff down. Just like that slappadelic line that was just said by HK.
Oh, you're feeding into his ego now.
You are indeed.
You must be new.
Yeah, I'll do
And
a
Doc,
bit of...
you gotta record with me tomorrow night. You're gonna deal with it.
I'll do a bit of study of the books, but I'll do what I do and hit up the taverns, any place big with social gatherings.
You're going drinking.
So you're going
Do you
to
want a cup?
he's studying. You're gonna spread the lore of what the group is doing.
I'm gonna spread lore, but also I'm gonna try to see if I can overhear conversations, if I can find anybody from specific regions, specifically the northern region.
Okay. There are a couple of people that have come from there, but they're mostly everyone here is mostly local town.
Keep your eye out for spies.
Yeah.
Anybody who's seen some shit and is trying to drink it away.
If there's somebody undead that's trying to act like they're alive,
You don't sense that.
like they
Come on,
take a
think
drink
about
of wine and it comes leaking out of like a hole in their side.
It's like, I know bad makeup when I see it, and that looks like some bad makeup.
Hey, they get away with it in B movies though.
As you're singing, if they start going,
It's them. All right. So you can, if you're gonna do that, if you want, you can type to me exactly what you're saying. So you can say things about other players, their other characters, without knowing what you're spreading about them. So you're gonna do a little lore. Then give me a performance roll, so see how much of it sticks with the populace of Greenwood. Okay.
Heard.
Russell. So you're gonna kind of spy, I take it,
Sure.
on who?
There's a.
Think tank apparently is going to go into Alric's study. I don't know if that means you're going to
What?
follow Hal, the think tank, the mage paper people, the wizards, the two wizards, and whatever Mira is.
Whatever Mira is. That thing. No, to be honest, there's a logical part, and then there's that Faye part of her that's like, I want to do this. No, I should do this.
Faye part usually wins, Jen.
Yep. That was a nice low roll. She's gonna try and spy on the caps.
The red caps?
Yep.
Ooh. Okay, this is going to start a good scene. All right, the red caps kind of like, you kind of follow them up. You know the other one's name is Ket. He seems to be the right hand to Hector. They have kind of
Ken?
scurried off.
Ken, like
Ket.
Barbie Ken?
No, Ket. K-E-T-T.
Ket. K-E-T. Okay.
The two of them look like they're up to... I mean, Ket's easy to read. They look like they're up to no good. They have found the other collection of red caps. So you will give me a stealth check now. And I'm going to give you advantage because these two and most of them seem pretty preoccupied with what they think they're up to, what they want.
That's a 21.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that's above their passives. So, Hector, you and Ket have found the other red caps. I think you wanted to tell them some information.
I'll tell them a truncated Hectorian version of the story, probably with more insults and specifically about the gods from the other realm and the power situation, sort of focusing on that aspect of the story he just heard. And then we'll break into a description of Mira, and we'll say
this princess, she stepped through from another world, they say. Her presence, there is only one like her. It has been in my head. It is, I cannot know what is true. It is like the queen, but it is not. This one, she might be like those gods. She might be the power of summer.
The other red cap that you're catching up on goes, she is also Summer Queen?
She is. If you can close your eyes and you can smell the summer, that is what it is like to stand next to her.
The other one goes, crit, he goes, wait. Hector, you say, if we smell and believe her, you say Summer and I have two queens?
But that makes no sense. Summer cannot have two queens. You're stupid.
No, Femco, no, Hector, think. We have two queens means Summer more powerful than other courts. We do good by this.
But who is in charge?
Not us. Queens.
Okay, but who tells Hector and Cat and everyone who to kill?
Mostly everybody tells us what to
kill
do.
That person, and he said kill that person. I cannot, I'm little, I cannot reach that far.
Cat goes, what you say then? Only one queen? We must kill another other queen? Old queen? Is that revolution? Revolution. They all get a little excited.
No, not revolution. Yes.
Oh.
No. Yes.
Yes.
No, yes.
Kill.
You two, fight to death for it.
Fight to death for it?
You fight for one queen, you fight for two queens.
Okay. Cat, you pick Cat and you pick Vamp, and after a quick little scrabble, Vamp is gone. He loses to Cat.
Okay. I didn't decide who was who before. Who?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Okay, who are you fighting for?
You told me fight for new queen.
Okay.
Does that mean we all follow new queen now?
Yes, new queen. Oh, no, not queen. She is Princess Queen Mira.
Princess Queen Mira, right.
Yes.
That very powerful title.
Yes, Princess Queen. We must let every red cap know.
Crit goes, you wish me go back to Faye? Tell other red caps?
Yes.
Okay, I go.
Tell them to come here. Tell them we must convene with the new queen.
Nice. Yes, master, yes. All right.
Yes. Ah!
Revolution! And Cat goes, not revolution this time!
Cat runs off and we all run off into the forest,
Okay.
throwing our weapons in the air and just sprinting through the forest, screaming revolution.
All right. Russell, that is what you have now seen.
How bougie of them.
Did nobody else just pick up what just happened there?
Only Russell followed the red caps, though. You have no idea. You're going to go do the militia thing. This is the one chance that a character followed another character and did good by it. But now it is
He's from the Fae too, so who
Okay.
knows?
Jen, I want to take a moment. Can you please give me an insight, and I'm going to feed you some information that the other players are not going to know.
Me?
Yes. And then, Androsius, you are just going to plan with the archers?
more than just plan. I want to like observe how they fight. I want to observe their skills and train them
Okay.
in the way that like I trained the Windfires. Like, if possible, I would like to not if they have kind of like basic bow and arrow acumen, then maybe train them in some of like the techniques that like some of the battle master techniques that I've got, where it's like being able to like affect not just firing arrows in a volley and taking out numbers, but how to shift an opposing army, that kind of thing, and how to think like a unit. I want to do as much as I can with them to actually train them and give them these skills.
Okay. Give me an insight check as well.
It's an 11.
Okay. You believe that you're just gonna need some time, but these guys are not great.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
they are
they're
not
great.
that skilled at all. But
Yeah.
you have promise, so they're not like hopeless, but that is where you're at with them. Okay? And I'm-
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I understand that the level of archer that I am used to is not this.
I mean,
recognize that.
you've seen. I'm more or less saying you've seen competent in other like poorer military systems. These guys are
Sure.
below that, but
Yeah.
you have time to
So
figure that out.
Yeah. I'm basically going to do whatever I can with them, even if it's like tricks on targeting or whatever I can do to give them any sort of guidance on how to arch better.
Okay, cool.
Pointing it in the right direction.
Right, exactly.
Level
Yes.
they're on.
All right, Aleron and Alric, you get to the study, and Magdalene goes, "Are there spell books here, Alric, that we can gather the necessary power that we need, or do you have access to such one that exists?"
Immediately.
There are plenty of spell books here. At least there were when I was last here, which I think was actually a few weeks from now. But they are definitely spell books here. There are also scrolls. There are stones, tablets. I even have ritual leaves from a jungle culture I visited once, or whence. Yes, there are definitely books and such to study from.
Good. Will you find me a scroll then that I will need?
I can certainly look, yes.
I need a scroll called The Dream of the Blue Veil.
Excellent. Do you happen to know who wrote it?
No.
Do you happen to know when it was written?
Recently.
Do you know where it was written?
No.
I am Lewanika speaking. I'm assuming that that's going to be an Arcana check for him to find that.
Yeah, and I'll give you advantage because you're in
Yeah.
a bit of a library.
Yeah. So he's going to definitely take a look. He's going to. He actually is like fiddling with some dials on some kind of mechanical device, and putting things in different places. And anybody watching will see pins dropped and such like that. And then he will roll.
While you're doing that, she looks to you, Elrond, and goes, "Do you have the ability to scry on this Lich?
No.
Can you learn it?" If not, the scry is a simple enough spell in this library. You may add that to your spell book. You just need time to kind of write it in.
Then yeah, I can learn.
Excellent.
My roll was not fantastic at an 11.
11. So you're like, wow, that is a very obscure, weird spell. But you happen to know of a very powerful mage that has a lot of really good library that you think you might be able to find something close to. You know, Lady Hestus of the Spring Court has the most extensive magical library, to your knowledge.
Okay. And I'm assuming Alric has the ability to take Mira there, or go there and then bring it back?
Yes, you could take Mira there.
Okay.
And Ouron if you wished.
Alric, care to take a trip?
Sure.
Excellent. So
Alric would know that Alarin is not very popular in the Fey Courts.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just gonna stay here and chill.
So he will definitely reach into what looks like a bookshelf, but obviously it's somewhat illusionary. He pulls out a staff, and he says, "Then we shall go." And he opens up another kind of closet, and the Fey realm is beyond the veil. After you, my princess.
Thank you.
And yeah.
Go ahead.
As they step through, there's like a beautiful kind of well lit. It's beautiful, warm summer feel. Well lit. The grass is like everything is perfect. The perfect temperature. There's a slight breeze, kind of buffets Mira's hair, and he says, "I've always wanted to take a walk with you in an open field."
Why, thank you. She goes, "Well, how have you been then, Alric?"
Better, but whenever I come here, I feel not here as in the Fey realm. I feel much better now that I'm home. But whenever I'm in my father's home, I always feel scattered. Like I am always trying to grab the pieces and parts of the things that I have seen done and will see, and kind of talk about them in the right way, like so that the moment I'm in is the moment I'm talking about, and that is harder when I'm there than it is when I'm here.
You don't look like your father, if I may ask.
My birth is mystical, as is my father's specific nature. My mother is, she's human. But in their adventures, they were given a gift. They fell in love, and they were given the ability to have a family. And those same gods even gave a lineage to my father that mystically connected him with a family, something he had never had. They literally altered the look of his skin and the makeup of his body. He's still a man of metal, but he looks like a man of flesh, whereas before it looked much more mechanical.
May I ask another bull question?
Sure.
Why didn't you tell them all about what I am about? Why did you let it be mysterious of my abilities?
There are two reasons for that. I am from a land where secrets you have that belong to another are not secrets you should ever give. Also, as I said, when I'm there, it's hard for me to remember what is, what was, and what's going to be, and speak those truths at the right time. I wouldn't want to give spoilers. And finally, and I have no shame in admitting this, while I am a bit worried because I see you are wearing a ring, I'm enraptured by you, my princess. And you make me far more nervous than the son of a commander, the brother of the summer night should ever be. I have been secure in so many things for all of my life. I've always known who I am, where I'm going to be, and what I want to be. You leave my heart untethered. Oh, we're here.
Okay. She like just lets the quiet from that go on. As you enter in. Guards coming you. Elric, what may the lady do for you?
I present to you, Princess Mira Haldane of the land in the land of the 18 seas, daughter of Lodi. And she is looking for a manuscript. The Blue Veil, was it?
Yes. Alright. I'll let the lady know. They escort you in, and Lady Hestis, a regal, beautiful, attractive woman, behind a desk, books aligned. Her desk is very neat, very organized. There's not any loose paperwork and stuff like that. She's kind of like sitting behind there, and she goes, Alric, Alric, Alric.
Milady?
You went ahead and broke the seal, didn't you?
In the mortal realm, there was very little time left.
You do know who she is.
Oh, yes.
And you brought her anyways.
As I said, as the one who knows what was, what is, and what could be, there was very little time left.
You do know we understand that world, Spero, and Alanis are on a brink. We know you know this.
The forces that ally themselves against Spero dislike the Fae as much as they dislike those mortals. If we don't stop them now, they come here. What was my father's job? What is my sister's job? What is my calling, even if I do it in the most unorthodox of ways, is to make sure that it never comes here. I did what I had to do to make sure we stop it.
Do you know what she's going to do? And with that, she's kind of looking at Mira. Mira
She's gonna help us stop it.
There will be a price, Alric, a price. If I open my books to her through you, your dalliances must come to an end. My library opens by binding you to favor of soul and deed. And Mira now kind of like takes a glance at you.
I barely dally anymore.
You are a Greystoke. The very word uttered is that of malice, corruption, and dalliances that have shaken the very realms of not only the one you are fighting for now, but the one it is connected to, and I imagine after this, many more to come, Alric Greystoke, you will do what your blood has done a millennia this time, and you will swear to something greater than you to make sure your dalliances have control. Mira really kind of takes a real hard look at you as this woman lashes with fey power to you.
He has this look where he's very admonished by the woman in front of him, and at the same time a bit of embarrassment and a real fervent wish that Mira hadn't heard all of that. Like, it's like, right here, right now? Come on, really?
You also know that Lady Hestus has never done this to you before. Ever.
Yeah. And he just says to Mira, goes, it's not as bad as it sounds, but it's not particularly. And he looks back at her, and he says, am I being bound to a place, a time, or a person?
No, Alric. You will definitely be bound to many times, many places, for many things on this one. I know your power. I know what you're about. But the one next to you is about to change all that. If you go in this direction, I, the courts, need protection and confirmation of guardians. And you will swear to be one. A guardian, Alric, not a mover or a shaker of the realms. That's the one you have by your side. She's the one that will change things.
So I will be the thing my father and my mother and my sister has always wanted me to be, and I have always avoided.
But like any Greystoke, your heart puts you in the place where it finally needs to go.
Well then.
Mira goes, Alric, I can find a different way. You don't have to do this.
Don't I? Maybe my father will look at me with similar eyes that he looks at my sister with when he realizes I have taken a charge. I've been protecting the Feyrealm anyway. They want to put a rule or a guardrail on that. I think that's their loss. He looks back at the lady in front of him. I can guarantee you there's going to come a time where you're going to want to turn me loose so I can do my best work. But until you see fit to do so, I, Alric Greystoke, son of Hephaestus, son of Vivian, forlorn of Princess Mira, will accept your terms.
With that she goes, very well. Remember, Alric, when others will speak of this in lore, it will be you who turn this chapter. And that will cut away. As things are settling in Greenwood, Alaran, you now have learned the scry spell. Okay. Hal, your lore has been spreading about. People are talking in the town. It has been the thing. Like, everyone's getting hope. They've heard about this stuff. Like, now they're like, wow, there are some powerful people in our humble little town. This is amazing. Everyone is now looking forward. They're being led by a great archer that you have helped hype up even more. Hector.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Many of the blood caps have returned. We'll say about 50 of them.
Okay.
What are you telling?
Alright, just same stuff.
Okay.
And through either almost I think Hector's almost become a cult leader. He's very much doing that and probably using cult tactics. They probably have like robes at this point. They have like Dead Rapids or something, I don't know.
Oh shit.
Red robes, and they're wearing high heels.
Yeah, something. And there's like someone keeps bringing up Kool-Aid, but no one knows what that is yet. Same stuff that he told the original group.
Okay.
That this is the red caps no longer have to be on bottom. This is going to be, there's a new power in the Summer Court, and it was decided through very official means that she's going to be the new princess queen of the court.
Okay.
Who's below us now?
Hector, Caleb, I want you to roll me a persuasion check privately in chat to me, or roll it and then give it to me in chat, because I don't want anyone else to know exactly where this is going.
Straight roll?
No, your persuasion.
Yeah, straight
persuasion. Correct.
Is Russell still observing this?
No, you know they went in the woods. You only have what they did before they went in the woods and went crazy.
Nope, that's fine.
But
I'm clearing whatever that is. How do I do?
Oh, we all saw it.
You all saw it? Well, it was a 15, but it was public.
Okay. Russell, did you wish to report to HK or Androsius about what was going on?
I know HK. I don't know Androsius. So if I'm going to choose one, I'm going to try and report to HK.
Okay.
I'll also, I'll tell them that this town is off limits through whatever means I need to tell them.
Okay, fair enough. The revolution will not start at the town.
Yeah. No, this is the headquarters.
This is headquarters.
These people are all servants of the princess.
Ground Zero. Got it. Oh, okay.
These are all her first subjects.
So you're telling them this is her realm.
For now, we don't know if she has a different realm, but for now, this is her. She's not the smartest guy.
We know.
And if they give you 100 gold, they can move to the next level of the cult.
Yeah. Maybe Alaric can help you with the gospel of this shit. Holy man.
we can work on some things,
Bottles of wine.
The gospel according to Mira.
Yeah. Okay, so you, Russell, you find Hephaestus.
Hi, Russell.
That was a lot.
What's going on?
Let's see. There is only one like her.
Oh no.
Yes! There's two of them now.
Jen, get inspiration. You may need it.
Yeah, I might. I'll take it out right now before I forget.
What did they do?
It was effective. He knows exactly who she's talking about.
He nailed it.
In my head, can smell the summer on her. Like a queen, summer cannot have two queens. Debate about revolution.
Are the Redcaps trying to overthrow the Summer Queen?
Follow the new princess queen, Mira.
She's a princess of a kingdom somewhere that my son found her.
Follow the princess queen, Mira.
Thank you are the best.
Oh no. I think I need to speak with Alric and find out what the heck is going on here. Where are the Redcaps now?
Yeah, if you go out like into the forest, like out of the border of your town, you'll probably find like a grouping of like 50 of us. Like,
No,
basically having
You will head out, HK, and you will run into one.
Where's Hector?
What?
Where's Hector?
I don't know.
Do you actually not know, or are you
I don't know.
denying the person who's been placed in charge of you?
No, I know charge. Great Princess Queen Mira in charge. I just don't know Hector is.
This particular Redcap will see the angry eyes.
He doesn't understand angry eyes. He's angry himself.
He's the grumpy red cap.
As opposed to all the pleasantly happy lucky ones, eh?
Hector's a joy. Hector's delightful.
There's the one that runs around going, skip, 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 my-doo, skip.
I knew when Caleb got this idea of bringing red caps to the party, I like, this is going to be fantastic fun, yes.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah, wonderful. This is payback for having Arthur fight his father in the final battle of the campaign. Yeah, that's
killing his father. In the
yeah,
final
for
battle.
killing his father in the final battle.
I'm the first one in this game to ever do that. Come on now.
I know. That's the first time I've done it to one of Caleb's characters. I even got him isolated from the rest of the fight. Like they did the whole duel of the fates kind of thing. It was awesome. But back to this. HK looks down at the red cap. And he stands as fully tall as his 7 foot and change frame will be, and just bends his head to look straight down at it.
Mm-hmm.
And he places both of his hands on the top of the hilts of both of his swords, and they glow. And he just says, and he is very angry. Get me Hector. I want to see him immediately.
You're not in charge.
I most certainly am.
By whose call?
Princess Queen Mira.
Did you say that, Russell?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. You said the Princess Queen Mira? I'm no say so. I go get Hector.
She's standing mirroring HK, but she's just doing this nod, like, right. That's right.
HK's gonna, once the red cap is out of sight, HK's gonna turn, walk part of the way back, basically leaving the immediate area where they were with Russell, and he's gonna say, when this is all done, I'm gonna punt one of those things.
Write it down, Jen. You know you're gonna want to say that.
Russell chortles like a child again.
And
she's gonna look up at HK and go, "Do I stay or do I go?"
Alron, within, you'll say
You
about
might want to stay. I might need you to calm me down if I. Once I find out what exactly my son has done.
Alron, within about 15
Okay,
minutes. Within 15 minutes, a portal opens up next to you. A female elf comes through. She goes, "Greetings, Alron. I am Isonora Rekin of the Radiant Watch.
Pleasure to meet you.
You are summoned to Lady Hestus's court. You are in need."
To the court?
Yes, the newcomer. They are preparing. They said you would be needed.
Do I know this person? Have I met this person before or anything?
Well, I'm gonna say no. But she does look like definitely
Like
a
a
mage
legit-
of the Summer Court. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, you do know that the Summer Court has a militant faction of mages.
They must have had some way to get in here, because I'm not. I'm in Alaric.
Yep, they seem to have known.
Or whatever the hell it is.
Actually, give me another insight check. I'm gonna give you advantage because you've been in the Fate Court before.
Oh, with advantage?
Yep.
17.
You have a feeling that when Alric and Mira left, they probably have spent now more time, having more time in that area than you have had studying the scry spell. Like, as you kind of got in the book and stuff like that, you're probably guessing now that probably a lot of time has gone on between the two of them.
Okay. So they've had a lot of alone time.
Not on alone time, but at least together time.
Good for nephew, man. Oh, shot a shot.
Will you come?
Of course.
Good. This way. And then you will go in to the thing.
Goodbye, world.
So, you got that message. You're going to go check for your son, HK?
Yeah.
That wasn't too long. So about 30, 40 minutes, you're back at your house. They're not in their study.
I'm asked the butler, where's Ulrich?
I do not know, sir. May I make inquiries for you?
Please do.
Very well. In about 5 minutes, he will come back.
Yes.
They are in the spring court, master. And I must say they have been there for a couple of weeks of the Feyworld time.
What are they doing?
My reports from my spy, master, is your son has given himself to the Lady of the Spring Court, master.
Damn kids. So the Midsummer Sorcerer is beholden to the Spring Queen.
At the moment, it seems so, sir. There is quite of a stir of the lady that you had with you, master.
What can you tell me about this lady that my son has left out?
I'm not knowing much, master. My duty is around your house and keeping it very pristine clean. Lady Vivian likes things in a lot of good order. She hates dust, master. I have done very well in making sure all the things of your house are dustless.
And I appreciate your dedication to the job, but do you know what Lady Vivian likes less than dust in her house?
No, master.
other women with secrets she doesn't know.
Oh,
Why don't you tell me what who my son has brought to my home?
oh, right. I don't. They say she is a multiverse traveler, or being. I think they said being, multiverse being, master, and she has quite the knowledge of those things.
Why would the Redcaps refer to her as the Summer Princess Queen?
I think it has something to do that she is of Fableland, master. That is what I heard. She's much like your son in that way.
Keep me posted. And definitely find out as much as you can about her.
Well, do you wish to go in, master? I mean, I know.
It would not be good for me to be lost in the wilds for any length of time that I might be needed here. I'm confident that my son will return when he needs to, with what he needs to return with.
You need time to be accurate, master.
Yes.
Oh, what? He goes into his thing, pulls out a clock, a little pocket watch.
What is this?
It is a Fey watch, master. If you click the button, the time will sync with the mortal world, and you will stay within the same time frame.
And this only works for a single individual, not necessarily a group of individuals?
Yes, master.
And you've had this the entire time.
Well, I must make sure when I go into the Fey world to get things you need. I have not gone for months and, possibly years. But you are my master, and I want to make sure you get what you need in your son.
I'll return it to you shortly. I shouldn't be gone long.
Of course, master.
See where I can find you.
Say hi to
and
Mrs.
It will go. I most definitely will.
All right. You're going into follow your son.
Russell, please let Lord Androsius know that there may be a wrinkle in what we understand is about to happen. I have the ability to come back and report on how big said wrinkle will be. Also, offer him my apologies. I truly understand how frustrating all of these elements are, these things are, and my goal is to gain some clarity. But the mission continues.
And that's where you head?
Yep.
Okay. Russell, when you go to report, how you will be around Androsius at this moment to, you're sort of observing when Russell comes bustling up to report. So, Androsius, you see Russell.
Hello?
Hello.
How may I help you?
She's only like 4.5 feet tall, so she's kind of.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. Can I?
She
how may
won't
I
bite
help
you.
She's gonna reach up and grab his shirt and pull him down.
Okay.
She's not catching what she's trying to gesture.
He bends over.
She puts her beak over his shoulder and whispers quietly in his ear, but he hears HK's voice explaining what Josh just heard. Because I couldn't write down fast enough to catch everything that Lee just said.
Sorry.
but it's word for word, and it's definitively HK's voice. And then she lets him up.
And what does he say? Basically that things are not. What was the message we were leaving?
That there might be some wrinkles, and he's going to gain some clarity.
No. It was the HK's apologizing bit that I really wanted to know.
Right. That's the part
Really,
I
John?
got to write down.
That's what we're doing today, John.
Okay.
That's what we're doing today.
I came for violence, Leonica.
You chose violence.
That's the part I couldn't write down either.
I can see us repeat it.
And it was just as difficult to say then as it's going to be to repeat now.
I have the gist of it. I'll
apologize. Yeah.
Damn, having a Kenku who repeats everything word for word.
When
Andros makes all his rolls for the rest of the night at disadvantage because his head has swollen so big.
takes one to know one.
Oh yeah.
All right. Yeah. So Androsius, he's probably out training at the moment, like probably working with some archer. Like, no, pull the bow back and then let it go.
Really
Butt
engage
back,
it back.
you know. And he just kind of like lowers his bow. Can you give HK a message back from me? He's probably never met a Kenku before. Like, that's, of all the things Androsius has seen, this is probably not one of them.
She kind of fidgets for, like she's looking for something, shrugs, looks at him, and repeats what the butler said regarding time and passage of time.
You are very strange. Let HK know that I will be here when he is ready to let me know what the issue is.
Okay, bye! And she'll turn around and just walk away.
Okay. HK, you find your way to the Spring Court. They pretty much let you go where you want. You're a very identifiable celebrity person. So I take it you're going to Lady Hestus's abode?
Yep.
Okay. There is a mage there. Ilsenor Raycan is standing close by. And she goes, Father of the Summer Night, well met.
Well met. I understand that my son has become the guardian of your court.
He swore something to Lady Hestus. You know, Ilsenor is of summer. She's not of spring, but she's here.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she's
All
here.
right. To the then that would have been phrased to the
Well, I don't. If you want to rephrase, you can, because you know, you have a lot more
Yeah.
sway with these because they're military. Like, you know, she's a military mage, so you can have your military presence with these ones because they listen to you. Like, you may not be the knight title, but they have definitely trained and learned under you and all that stuff.
I need to speak to the lady of the Spring Court. I understand my son has been meeting with her.
Yes, and the World Breaker,
Who is this World Breaker?
the one that he brought, the woman, Mira Haldane.
I am at a loss, and I'm not often at a loss, and I don't like being at a loss. Before I meet with the Spring Lady and my son, what can you tell me of this World Breaker?
Oh, I legend lord her.
I am a student of mortal histories, but she's not from my world.
No. She's a She is a noble birth child, but her father runs a criminal empire in her world. Her mother remarried to put her in nobility, so she became adopted in the courts of the city that she dwelled in. But she is also a child of the Fae, which a cast-out king of a court of summer, empowered quite the quest of getting her stronger, more powerful, so that she may rule the land that was created by a mage. This woman is the most highly trained athlete that I could think of, but empowered by Fey magic, given directly by, closest to us would be for our queen to be their king.
My son didn't tell me who he was bringing. I assumed he was bringing a commander or a general. It didn't take long to realize that that's not exactly what had been brought to us. I was not aware of her Fae connections.
Yeah.
Is she powerful?
Let us say she may not have magical power of that rivals Lady Hestus, but I have never seen a person with such a keen mind in all of the Fae. She has been pouring through Hestus's library at a rapid rate. And the other watch say, the woman doesn't sleep, so she's definitely not human.
One last question. The Redcaps were sent by our Summer Queen.
Yes.
We have individuals from the Court of Autumn. My friend Russell and T. My friends Russell and T. We have yet to have forces join us in the mortal world against this threat from the Spring Court. Do you think these unions will bring that kind of assistance as well?
Lady Hestus has secretly told us why we have been asked to stay nearby with Lady Ventura. Our Lady has asked us to be close by because the Redcaps have been stirring up a faith with her.
Can you get a message to the Summer Queen for me as I meet with the Lady of Spring?
Try.
We need the Redcaps' assistance in the coming fight. But something that's happening here is impacting who they are allegiant to. And the Summer Queen needs to know it is not from me, and it is not from the people of my town.
Hephaestus, we have been old friends. This Worldbreaker's no slight on title. She's going to be using Alron to open passages to other places. That is what I've been hearing them talk about. I am no great mage, but I am keen enough to know that wherever her allies are, she's about to pull them.
I need warriors in this fight. And if they are beholden to the defense of the mortals of Spero, it matters not to me from where they come. other than when it's done, they return, and it does not overly disrupt our Fey realm in any way.
Well,
My
Hephaestus.
fear is that it is already disrupting our Fey realm, and I wish to let the Queen know that this is not of my doing specifically.
If you want loyalty, then you better make sure you have this world breaker in check. I'll go see the Queen, and she will
Thank you.
leave you as you enter in. Alaron.
Nope.
So you are there with Lady Festus and Alric. She is showing you a spell book, which has a spell called the Blue Veil. She goes, "Will you cast this so I make contact with a device that I need?"
Let me read the fine print.
It's basically a contact to another world. So it's kind of unbelievable, but right now what you're seeing, that she's from a different world, kind of makes sense. There's no other trappings in it. It is just basically...
It's just a verbal communication device.
Yes.
Okay.
And it seems like she's talking about, she shows you schematics, it's contacting 2 pilots that you will make contact and bring them back.
Well, then it's not just a communication.
No, I mean, sorry.
And
Well,
bring them
you're
physically
seeing
back.
it, and you're going to bring something back. Well, them and this device back.
Okay, what is the device?
You're not sure. But you
Well.
just know about the 2 guys.
I see you picked the guy most likely to do the dumb thing.
No, I know you're a very powerful mage, Alaron. And I know you don't have a great standing in this court, but your service would help this war. And I think it would help you. I'm willing to share it. I am not above not using my friends and my allies to the same resources that I wish to have.
Not about using your friends and... Duly noted. What did you say the device does?
It is a device that will give us the resources of knowledge that is still limited here, but we will be unlimited once this device arrives.
So it's like a repository of knowledge
Yes.
from other worlds.
Also a very way to transport ourselves to the Lich that we also need to strike. It's a 2-part win for us, Alaron, and you'll be integral in making that happen.
And who are the people that
Pilots.
you're having me bring?
They are pilots.
Pilots of what?
The device we need.
Very interesting. Should discuss this with HK as he's the, kind of,
He's still training the troops.
we do everything together. Well, I'm sure we could contact them easily.
I can. Very well. And
I mean,
by luck
just
we
as
have it.
easily as we contact other worlds.
Yeah, by luck we have it. HK shows up.
Oh. What a coincidence.
Alaron?
HK, I'm just talking about you.
Excellent.
A request was made, and I thought it would be prudent to run it by you as well. Not just make decisions on my own.
A good soldier is always where he needs to be. What's the question?
Well, our new friend here has requested me to cast a spell in order to bring a device and 2 individuals back from her world that she's from.
Let's
Individuals only known as pilots, no other specifics given, and the device, some sort of repository of knowledge, and also transport, so seems very vague.
Do you remember a long time ago, back when you were the knight, that the tailor, I believe they were a pixie tailor, and whenever we were talking about one thing and they wanted to talk about something else, they would always say, let's put a pin in that, and they would stick either you or me, and then they get mad because they break the pin when they stuck it in me. We're going to put a pin in that. Princess Mira, my understanding is you're creating quite a stir here.
Am I?
You've been given a name. They're calling you World Breaker.
I seem to collect many titles over my times and places.
In plain words, I am no spellcaster, I am no mage. What is the name of the device you are calling from your world?
It is an airship.
And airship?
This is why I do not wish to waste time with details. If you want lessons of lore, you should have done what I've done. It's take time to study. If you want effectiveness, then I can make these things happen. But if you do not trust me, then there would be no reason why your son should have summoned me. But if you want help, and you want it now, you will let me do what I've always done.
I want your help.
Then get me
And
what we need. I am willing to share it.
And I do not control my son. And there are even times where I question his motivations. However, in this case, I am not worried as much about what you are bringing as the wake that follows where you walk. I have it on authority that the Redcaps are stirring. They seem to think there's some change in power. That your connection to the Fae will supersede their following of the orders of their queen. Those orders are very specific and prevent them from harming the very mortals we seek to protect. That is a very delicate balance that I have tried to reinforce through the rules. In my home. By upsetting that balance with our queen, my reinforcement may not hold as much water with them, which could put people in jeopardy. I would ask you to make sure you meet with them and make it very clear that their allegiance remains with our original queen. Whatever your connection is in your realm and why ever that's confusing them, they have already begun to convert to you. And so that we do not create turmoil in our courts, I'm asking you to acknowledge to the Redcaps that they need to stay where they were as far as their allegiance lies.
Where I have done my thing, where I have captured a crown that hurt my people, killed my people, massacred the nobility that tried to defend my people. I was trained for a task, one I did not quite know at the time, but I understood as my father put me into play. When I tell you at the moment I am a princess, this is because that is the actual title the people of Erlandon see me as. But the term queen has followed me many times because it is more of the symbolism that it represents on a chessboard. It is something my father played and taught me through hours and hours of training. Before I was ever allowed to touch a sword, he said, I must learn to master my mind. As I have done that, my friends gravitated toward me. My friends let me lead. My friends let me make the choices that were right. The only thing that I will tell you is my friends hold my balance of my choices. From the risk that I'm willing to take. I see that you're all trepid with the power around you. But make no mistake, HK. Your enemies are not afraid to use theirs. Are you worried about me? Many have, many are. I am a queen of monsters, and I attract monsters. But if you want to win this war, you will let me play my game.
Be the queen you need to be. I am asking you to leave our courts the way they are.
I am not asked to rule your courts. I have actually...
Correct.
I turned aside my own court to be with my beloved. But I will tell you, HK, my fate is entwined with powers I do not seem to be able to shake from. And the more I'm in your realm, the more danger I probably present to it. Because in my realm, I seem to have done many of the same things.
Yeah. Couldn't help but notice you said massacre your people.
Yes, the king that I stopped. They were killing everybody, and I wished to make it end as soon as possible. I went to the Winter Queen and challenged the Winter Queen in the form of a dragon that held them. I was willing to put everything on the line for this. It was my friends, the Sentinels of the North, that stopped this. Helped me stop this. And then when I decided that I needed to do this, I realized and found in that same vessel this, not this world, but your elf's world. I found Alanis. And then I knew that there were other worlds, and I found another court. That is why I'm surprised I am here. But I do know of the Dread Realm. It was a gambit that I used in my way to win the Winter Realm.
I am worried about the Redcaps. If they're going to follow you, just make sure they're bound to the same oaths as they had to the other queen. But if you're not willing to make them revert to the other queen, I cannot promise you may not have conflict with her. You have, through no choice or purpose of your own, removed her people from her control. I don't know the Fae in your realms, but I know of no Fae queen that likes things taken from her. I would ask you to consider making them go back and binding them to their original queen as a sign of deference to the court that you are visiting, and then continue your work. He looks at Alric. Son, get better about clarity. Alaron, what she's asking sounds necessary for what we have coming. Do what you feel's best. But I think we should take her at her word on this spell.
What I think is best has always worked out.
Okay. Then let's go with what I think is best.
I like that.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. He looks at the he looks to the Spring Queen.
Spring Queen is not here.
The
It's just
lady?
the Spring Lady.
Oh, she's not here. Good, because it just dawned on me I had that whole thing and I didn't even acknowledge the Queen of the. That would have been terrible.
Yeah, no, it's the Spring Lady, and this looked like a work that has been going on for a while.
With that, HK is gonna walk. Like, he doesn't need to be here for it. Doesn't need to be there. Like, he said what he came to say. He has faith in what they're actually doing, and he can't control whether or not she chooses to give them back or not. But he has given her enough information to know what the risks are, and he's gonna get back.
Okay, so you're
I'll
about
catch
to
his
leave.
elbow and say, I'll do it. But there's a good chance we're going to regret this, bud.
There's been very little since we first left Greenwood that we haven't had some regret over, my friend.
Truer words never spoken.
All right.
And he'll head back to the house.
Okay. So you go about your Alron. You're going to go through the spell.
Yeah.
Okay. You kind of like mosey about a bit. You're going to do the spell, and as you complete the spell, she sees the thing, and she tells in her, like, in this dream of mind that you have going on with these individuals, to pull the ship through. And of course, this Warforged with goggles, stuff like that, glasses, he goes, but of course, Black Sapphire, I will. The ship was on its way, and they push the vessel through. And before you see it, Hephaestus, a large airship now rests outside the tower. Like, all the Eladrin elves now are going about and stuff like that. You've never really seen anything like this. So everyone is fascinated going about. And Mira goes, please, Lemon, let us go to the deck. You are met with what looks like a Warforged to you. He doesn't have a whole lot going on. He's pretty, like, simple that, and a gnome with also goggles and stuff going on. And he goes, Black Sapphire, good to meet you again. Ready to have the vessel operating as normal. She goes, thank you, Alphonse. PF-32. Well met again. We just need the captain's quarters. But of course, madam. And with that, she leads you into what is the captain's quarters. There's a good desk. There's maps and stuff like all the place like that. But there is a kind of a neat bookshelf set in the back wall. The rest is many different, different backs, stuff like that going on. In your mind, you don't really read a whole lot in terms of anything. Give me.
I think I read a lot, actually.
Yeah, so as your passive kind of goes, no, but this is funny. Like, you don't see anything particular until you're like your passive investigation. You're kind of looking like, I don't know, you're kind of looking for something, but then your mind kind of goes with titles that you remember reading, and then there's some reason they're all on the shelf.
So she has books from other worlds.
Mira goes, welcome to the most greatest find I have ever found, Aleron. This library that you see before you can manifest any book that has ever existed. This is how I found Alanis.
How do you make a book disappear on the shelf?
What book would you think by any species that you know of would you find fascinating?
Filthiest smut book you've ever thought is going to appear on that shelf.
From what species? It's important.
She's part elf, half elf.
Okay. There is a title. You just kind of look, and there's a title that is definitely seems to be of that. The many sexual
The
positions.
Elvish Kama Sutra.
Yeah, the Elvish Kama Sutra is right there.
Oh my goodness.
Of course, this is what Jacob would choose.
Make sure that it's going to be what I'm thinking about and not what she just put there.
It's legit.
Word.
Oh my goodness.
She goes,
I'll be damned.
Testing a theory.
this,
The scientific method.
Have you read this one?
no. But this is a spell book that we need. And she pulls something down. She opens now. Now that you've seen our world, and you have brought something from it, this will allow me to reach the most important ally of this campaign that I need.
Who's that?
He is my protector. Without him, I fear that the monster within inside me may wish for the more power that is about. He has always been my balance. He has always set my soul right.
Not the first time you've mentioned a monster. A little alarming.
I know, Laron, because you don't know what it is to be as normal as I thought when I trained to just be a thief. I was a cat burglar. That's all I ever thought I would be for my father. My grandfather had other designs, and I was set on a quest against a creator of a world. And to beat him, I had to take a lot of dangerous choices. He helped me not to become that monster that I beat. He let me remain the Lady Mira and not the Black Sapphire. I ask you,
Did
as
you
a
say
favor,
not to be the Black Sapphire?
yes, I ask of you, as a favor, if you bring him, I in turn will pay you back. And as you know, she is Fae. This is a favor of power.
Can I ask you one question first then?
Of course.
Why did your friends that I just brought over refer to you exclusively as the Black Sapphire if you're not the Black Sapphire?
The Black Sapphire is my father's, in essence, a spy network. It is a persona that I use to control aspects of the board of Verlandon, the 18 Seas, to make sure that the right pieces were in place to fight the Creator. They know me as that. They don't quite knew me as the Princess Haldane until much later. It is their natural habitat to call me that. I lived in two worlds, the shadow and the light.
Alaric will kind of step forward. He was kind of there, and he said, and he looks a little lost, and in the conversation, a little saddened by the direction of the conversation. Uncle, Sapphire was the name that was. Princess is the name that is. There are other names to come. Please bring who she asked. I trust that she knows best.
I have no doubt that you trust everything she says.
I will say this. If it's who I think it is, this is the decision you probably would not believe I would ever have made. And with that, he's gonna leave the captain's quarter and just go elsewhere to kind of let this be.
Okay.
No magic tricks, doesn't make it look weird. He actually just walks over to the door, turns the door handle like any mundane person, and he just has this dejected look and feel to his whole posture and personality.
And I'll lean in closer and say, I've actually never seen him do that. Just walk out of a door and turn the handle like normal.
He knows
It's concerning.
He knows the one I summon is my betrothed.
Well, if this is what it's going to take to save the people, my world, then the studying you said you have, then you know that that's the one thing that I actually do care about, not titles or anything like that. So, if that's what we need to do to save the people of this world, and Alaric seems to think so, his father seems to think so, then that's what we'll do.
You go out, start reading the incantations, the rune, and then a magical circle appears. Definitely whatever's on the other side sensed what is here and steps through. Caleb, what does he see? You're muted.
You're muted, Caleb.
Well, yeah, that's already saw.
That's what you see. You see.
What you see is,
Well, you see. Yeah. You see, a tall, jacked man. He's a beef boy. Very strong.
I'm used to hang out with HK. How tall is tall?
How tall is H? Probably. I mean, he's like.
HK is 7'8".
Not that tall. He's very much human. He's big for a human, but not as large for the other races.
He's shorter than Caleb actually is in real life. That's what we're talking about.
He carries a wears like mithril plate armor that is ordained with the colors of Verlandon and of House Haldane, as well as some symbolage. I don't know if you would recognize.
No, I don't know any of that stuff.
He doesn't know the
There's
colors.
also there's more symbolage.
Is it blue?
A lot of this is, I don't know what the Haldane and Verlander colors all are, but there's a third kind of color scheme of like a lighter purple that's present. It seems to be like a third symbolage, maybe of a god or something, that you probably also would not know about.
Sure.
The symbolage of Mercion. He carries
purple, blue, and yellow.
Yeah,
I'll go with that.
He's got a cloak that seems to be made of summer leaves, and though he's in heavy armor, footsteps seem to be more quiet than you would expect. There's a clank, but it sounds distant. He's a quieter fellow than you would expect. But you can still it's not as impressive as Mira stuff, but he's got magic items and shit. Carries a massive great sword on his back, and one thing of note, also what looks to be like a dragon wing on the other side of his back, that is a bow of some sort. You see, at first you mistake it for an actual. It's like an actual dragon wing. This is like a bow, and he has his armor. His right arm seems to be of a separate make. It seems to be a newer addition to his armor. And it seems to be. At first, you mistaken it for like a metal arm, but it seems to be more of a facsimile of that. Like you can see like straps and hinges and rivets, and it seems to be. I mean, his arm's in there, but it seems to be like a facsimile of a metal arm. But it is a piece of armor that comes off. I think, other than that, I don't know how perceptive are you? I don't think he would catch up on Arthur's.
No, not too much. His
Fine.
investigation is higher. But for you also, Caleb, you have not seen Mira in over a week. And now this happens.
You would probably, there would probably be a flash of like, you know, like that look where people get like dead in the eyes? It's like that, except it's his entire face for a split second as he steps through the portal, and his hand sort of reaches up to his sword, and then he sees Mira, and it's like a different person is on his face, and he's kind of breaks out into a relieved grin. He'll rush forward,
And you will. She lets you take her in an embrace. This is the most uncharacteristic, girlish type of action that you've seen out of Mira. These definitely look like young love. That has not been what you've seen in all this time you've been with her. And you've been with her for now about a week and a half.
And now we know you give away all the cool shit in your other game.
That's not my game.
Oh, so
That's on
why
me.
don't you take some notes from Lee?
Ooh, you don't know how this has gone, so I'm gonna hold back on that. Mira goes, Arthur,
What are
you're
you
here.
doing to me, Jake? What are you doing? What are you actually doing to me, Jake?
Well, he came through and noticed the wizard who's been around for a long time, and he's like, this guy has a lot of cool shit. He's like, wait, he's got a ring and some bracers of defense and a plain robe.
Plain robe. Had some other gifts, but some barbarian took the cool robe away from you. Remember? We're still bitch about that. So she's like, Arthur, you're here. She like grabs you by the face and kisses you, and goes, we're together again.
left. Really threw me for a scare, stepping through a portal like that.
Well, now you know how I felt.
What is this place? Have these?
We're in a fake court.
Unharmed?
I am unharmed. Arthur, we are in a fake court. Alric.
Faye, is it your grandfather again?
No, Alric
Causing
summoned you.
trouble?
Alric summoned me. You remember him? The one I summoned from the
Oh.
summer?
Short fellow, not that good looking.
Yes? She kind of goes,
You know, he is
yes, I guess.
a handsome young man. I don't like your tone. That portal's two ways, buddy.
No, he's a good ally. He helped us out, and I nearly jest. He helped us out when we were in a tight pinch. Is he in trouble?
Yes. He's asked for my help. This great wizard, Alron, has helped me with the spells that I have needed. I have brought our airship.
I see that. Oh, it's been a while.
They need allies to win this war. I had to have you by my side to make sure that we were able to do that.
Of course.
But I ask you, please don't ask me about the others. I can't bring Bertram.
Of course.
Thank you. We need
As
a
long
lot.
as we're together, we will be enough.
I do need your help in a little matter.
Anything.
Are you familiar with red caps?
I assume I have some very level of. I don't know who to ask. I'm looking at both of my.
You gotta ask Lee on this one.
I'm assuming I would be somewhat familiar of red red cap.
This is why this game is broken, because of him.
I pull a book about red caps off of the shelf that I thought about.
Yeah, okay, yeah, here you go.
I dig it.
This is everything
I was
you
gonna
need to
say
know.
not a whole lot of activity with them.
Jacob, well understanding the
Everything
room.
you need to know.
Yeah, Jacob, well reading the room. You have inspiration if you don't have it on your sheet yet.
I know they're Fae.
I guess there's
They're
they're doing some type of cult worshipping of me, like many of the Fae have in the past. I just need you to find out what's going on around the area. Get accumulated with the situation. I have some more spells to research that I'm going to need to get us against our enemy. It'll just need a couple more days, and if you do that, then we should be fine.
these red caps. Are they our allies, or are they doing this of their own volition?
They are allies, but a friend, the father of Alric, thinks that they're setting a split between the court because of me. I need you to find out what they are doing. Their leader's called a person named Hector.
Of course. Anything. I am. This place. This is not. Take it. This is not for land.
We're in the Feywild right now. It is much like my Fey, our Fey, it is a connection to there. We will be close to a place called Greenwood, which is a land. None of the places will be familiar, but I will have a book for you ready to learn when you come back.
Of course. Do I have a guide in these parts that may ferry me back and forth to wherever I need to go?
I believe they have set up mages to not only watch, but be helpful.
Of course. Alright, I'll give her one last embrace and begrudgingly go without.
Okay.
I'm gonna give Auron a once over. Do I get any like hostility vibes from him in terms of towards Mira?
You can do an insight check, and Jake, you can either roll deception or persuasion to be as cool or collective as you wish, or if you fail bad enough, whatever he reveals.
I'm just gonna roll dice on here.
I'm not good at either because I don't really care. Oh,
That's an 11.
13.
Okay. Alaron, you are. Would you roll?
13.
Okay, so you don't get much of a read. He seems to be definitely trying to understand what is happening before him.
Okay. Sounds
All right.
good. Yeah, I'll head out and
Okay.
try to figure out what's going on.
So you guys are going to spend, Alaron and Arthur, you will be spending another week in the Fae. HK, you come out.
Yep.
And about 30 minutes as you basically leave the house, a ship is floating in the air above your, like 20 feet from your house. Like, so down around here. Oh, sorry, I have my pointer. About right around the fields, right about here.
HK did have that watch, so time didn't pass for him.
Yeah.
Normal for him.
For
I
him.
came out immediately.
Yeah, so he came out immediately. We went seven more like weeks going on, but we're not too. When we come out, it'll be very similar to that time frame. But a lot of time went on for us. So everybody else, Russell, Hal, and Josias, there is a floating ship floating near the Greystoke estate house.
I will wave my. You're muted,
Josh,
Josh.
you're muted. What?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. I think I'm on delay for some reason. That's weird.
Yeah.
How did the ship get there?
It just appeared.
Just, and it was there.
Yep.
Yep. HK will wave his hand, and he will certainly pass the word immediately. Any of the principals that are near him, he'll say, pass the word to everyone. It's okay.
A ladder comes down, and a warforge, very blue warforge, comes crawling down.
Cheer up, kid. You're in Spero.
Wait, so
I'm blue, baba dee ba da die, baba dee ba. I'm sorry.
so then
I can't resist.
But
I wouldn't have come with on
you
the
did.
airship.
No, you're
Oh,
on the
I
ship.
did. Okay. So
You had your time. You're gonna do a bunch of stuff. We'll talk later.
Okay, cool. So I have
But
a week of.
we don't. Yeah, we don't need to go into too much of that detail right off. No,
Sure.
just slow it for everybody else. Get everyone back. Who wants to come see the ship? I guess it's up to you.
I'm coming to see the ship.
Okay.
Oh my God, yes. Okay, yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
So
I
there
mean,
is
if
there is a blue
I
warforge.
appreciate that HK has said to tell people to, you know.
All right. There's a blue warforge
HK will
down.
be there
Go
to
to
meet it, but yeah,
Okay.
we'll definitely pass on. Have the word pass so nobody starts taking pot shots at it.
Yeah. Okay.
As Russell goes up to HK, even though Androsius is probably in the vicinity, she's gonna go like that at Androsius, and then in his voice go, "I'll be here when you need me."
It's okay. This is what they were going to get.
Greetings, greetings. Well met,
That is not the
People-
clarification you think it is.
of this world.
Where's your queen?
She's about
Your
to come down
princess?
as we secure the ladder.
Russell
We'll
looks at
wait
HK, looks at the blue guy, looks at HK, and goes, "What the fuck?"
Such language. One should not show much language like that. It really does not do well for one's educational appearance.
I think called you stupid.
He looks at Russell and he says, in Forstad, we had a number of these clerical warforged. They didn't fight in the legions. There were a few of them.
Clerical. I am a pilot, good sir. A pilot. And a very good one, I might add.
Excellent. Do you wield a sword?
I do not need to wield a sword. I am capable of wielding magic. I am a very great adept for the organization known as the Talons.
Where I come from, warforged who are not adept at using a glaive, shield, sword, axe, or maul are rarely referred to with the phrase adept.
What he said.
Fortunately, I have traveled quite a bit.
I do
I
not
have a much
understand
more worldly view of worth.
how I always end up with the negative reactions. Negative. I thought I have the proper etiquette. Master Compton tells me I am a very well-attitude individual and I come up with good etiquette, but yet I always seem to get the negative approaches.
Has your Master
Inconceivable.
Compton ever put you in the presence of soldiers? Or does he often leave you in the presence of civilians and nobility?
Of talents, good sir. Talents.
Then what you are witnessing is not good etiquette. You are witnessing good etiquette in specific circumstances. Expand your view. You need to learn the etiquette for different groups of people.
Intriguing. A massive individual is making his way down in plate mail armor.
HK will be sizing him up.
He seemed to be as capable as you in level of talent.
HK walks over and he looks not down at you in a disrespectful way, but simply because of he stands half a foot taller. And he simply says, Commander Hephaestus Kenrick, designation HK. And you are?
I am Arthur Lightshield. It is a pleasure. Are you, you are the commander, I take it, of the situation here. Was I briefed on kind of what we're doing here? Okay, you are. I've been notified that you are the commander of this here effort.
Yes. Are you the cap?
Make your acquaintance.
HK extends his arm to clasp, and he says, "Are you the captain of this vessel?"
I am not. That would be probably Compton or one of these pilots. I am merely a passenger. I was sent for by my princess to assist her in the efforts here.
Oh, quite silly.
You're her bodyguard?
Master is the betrothed to the Black Sapphire. He is very well known among the ranks of the Talons and the world.
I suppose so, thank you.
In all essence, he will be the future king. One should understand royalty when you're a part of it. Etiquette, right? Etiquette.
Live, laugh, fuck that.
What?
Oh, I love it. Oh, okay.
Your
I gotta
familiar
write that one
wizard is making his way down the ladder.
As it gets close enough to the bottom, HK will give him a hand and give him a hand down the last bit. Friend, how are you?
As good as could be expected. Hasn't gone wrong yet.
Alric will just kind of misty step and appear kind of on the ground. Son?
And with that, Lady Haldane does as well. But she is now in a black silk jumpsuit with a very darkish green tinted cloak, armed to the teeth with hand daggers, hand crossbow, and that familiar sword that she had earlier. She looks every bit of a rogue now.
Well, you did bring some interesting equipment.
I have also found Maximus, the Lich that you're seeking.
Excellent.
Interesting fellow.
We should discuss his location, protection detail, and how we're going to take him.
I have found his lair, and the ship will get us there. We can get it before the horde continues, and I believe without a head, most hordes of such will not threaten your town, which will be good because either with no walls and the training of your militia, it will be a massacre on our parts.
Understood.
I figured that all out, as I surveyed your town pretty well, that such a battle would be highly costly. The only way to do this would be the way I've done it with the Sentinels in the past. We need to attack straight at the head.
It worked well last time.
That's what I thought, my love.
They sort of share a look.
The ship has stealth capacity. It is a Githyanki frigate that I was able to capture back in my time.
You have the tendency to get a lot of... Never mind. Androsis, I think we have a ride to our target.
I am so thoroughly confused right now, HK. I will take your word for it. I'm not... I am... okay. I really don't know what to say. Like, it has been a long time since somebody has done such to leave me speechless.
In Elven, he will say, in a softer tone than he normally speaks, because when one speaks in Elven, it is a softer tone, and it is not meant to be demeaning, it is meant to be reassuring. This is him trying to bolster and bridge divides that may have been forming, and he simply says, there is nothing about the mortals in this world that is normal. So for those of us that live many more years than they, we will always have to pretend that we have already seen that which we could have never foreseen.
Can those who speak Elvish hear this?
Absolutely. If Elven is part of your language, he was not trying to whisper. He just said that. So if you speak Elvish, you've got it. The one thing I will ask is, Ben, I'd like to make sure I perceive who all caught my meaning, so I know who speaks Elvish.
Give me an insight check, please.
And while Hal's furiously writing it down in his book with your other quotes.
Hal caught it.
I get advantage on Hal. Everybody else is straight rolls. Yeah.
That was way too fast.
Could you say that again?
Welcome to my world, Hal. Welcome to my world.
Yeah. That is a 24, my friends.
Author, you don't speak Elvish, do you?
It's not one of the I speak a bunch of weird languages.
Okay, Aleron, do you? I think you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have probably been tough to you.
Yeah, I would thought it would really weird.
Here's a summer night and not
The
know
two
me.
newcomers, so basically Lady Mira and Author, do not seem to pick up on it.
Okay.
Could I try to make him think I did?
Not with that insight. I mean, you looked inquisitive, but he kind of knows, maybe who kind of understood more just by your understanding in your eyes.
Sure.
So, Androsius will reply in Elvish, but the Elvish will sound strange. Like, it will sound archaic to people who are here from Spero. And his response will be, "It is not my age which gives me such pause. It is that I have no idea what the plan is, and the pieces on the board continue to change. Who are any of these people? Who are any of them?" And he's like gesticulating wildly now. Like, he's like, "What do you have me in?"
Does that sound more like Sylvan?
No, it's definitely Elvish, but it's more like, it's like he's speaking
Old English.
Shakespearean Elvish.
Yeah.
In common, HK will say, that's what we're going to do. We're going to gather, discuss, plan, then execute the plan. We don't have the answers to your question. I know overall
Look
what
around, like,
overall, I know pieces and parts, but for all of those gathered, for every one of us that gets on this thing and travels to this place to take out the Lich, we all need to sit down and get that information. And then he looks to the group and he says, he looks to Mira and he says, when must we leave versus when should we leave And how much time do we have to have this discussion?
I think a couple of days traveled where we need to go upon the ship will give us plenty of time to prepare. And I can brief the good Lord Androsius on exactly the events of things that have unfolded from what he's been a part of to what bridges the gap between these worlds. Possibly my own, if that is relevant to your cause. I think not. It does not, but I understand that I am an entity that has perplexed all of you, but it is what Alric has become in the court of the Fae, which is why it is intriguing from what I have discovered, but is not relevant to what you've asked of me. So I will try to get you on to date to the war at hand with this Lich. I will help you defeat it as I have defeated others, and hopefully that will settle things with trust and alliances. I am indeed a friend. I will not just try to jade that fact. I understand your concerns. I apologize.
You owe me no apology, Princess. Lord Androsius is only where I was before I went to the Spring Court to ask the questions of you I previously asked. He's looking for clarity of the individuals on this mission. He's looking for clarity of the purpose of this mission, and he's looking for clarity of the plan of this mission. Forgive me if I misspeak, Lord Androsius.
No, that is the depth of it. I know none of you, and I know none of what we're doing.
So,
And yet you asked me to fight with you, so
what we need to do
it's a challenge.
before we embark is sit down for a meal with all of those who are going on this mission. Each of us will have an appropriate amount of time to introduce themselves to the group as a whole so that everybody knows everybody, their capabilities, their histories, and can answer questions that are appropriate to what we're engaged in. We need to bridge these gaps so that there are no questions when we enter the breach. A good mission of any force, specialty force, has to at least know each other well enough to have confidence in each other. We have not trained together for years. We have not fought side by side in many cases for years. But with very few exceptions, everyone here knows at least one person that they have enough confidence to engage in a mission like this with. But with all of us, we need to get a better sense of each other. Are we agreed and committed to this endeavor?
Yes.
Excellent.
Let us board the ship then.
Everybody will probably
In
need to
Elvish,
get,
before you, as we're boarding the ship. Sorry, in Elvish, as we're boarding the ship, Androsius will just, under his breath, whisper to you, HK, your archers are terrible.
and HK will say without whispering and in common, atrocious.
Can I see if I catch that?
What is your passive?
It's only a 14.
I'm gonna say that he Androsius didn't mind if you caught it, type of thing. So
I
you
give a
did
little
pick it.
chuckle.
All right. Everyone will go up into the ship, and as you grab onto the ladder, HK, Mira also will whisper to you, and she will say, "If you ever really want to know more about me, Hephaestus, I already have the dossier on all of you."
I am starting to get an impression that your training is more varied than I may have originally thought.
My father, as long-winded as you, did train me to be a great spy. And you are a great soldier. The exploits of your legion are amazing. And to have a city made of Forstad of dwarves and gnomes sounds wonderful to behold.
It's a great city.
They have an extensive library. I learned quite a bit about Warforged.
Someday, when this is done, when those of my kind no longer want to fight, I hope that this can be a place that they can go.
I will try to make
I
it so.
fought for a very long time. My wife made me ask the most important question of my existence. What do you do when there are no more wars to fight? What do you do when you don't want there to be any more wars to fight? This place, this is what I want. I want to not be within defensive walls. I want my children to be able to go see and touch a tree, fish at a stream. I want to go see the baker and bring bread home for my family. But I'm a soldier, and I recognize that we need people who can train as a defensive force. And they're woefully in need of that training. And we are beginning. We just have to stop this threat so we give them time to get there. A place for retired Warforged where they can teach their craft, maybe be called up in the event of an emergency, but never have to do that again, where they can be farmers, they can be tailors, they can be artisans, they can be whatever it is they wish to be. I wish to give them a home. The veterans of the legions, the ones who have fought for countless human, dwarven, and gnome lives, they deserve more than to die in some battle, buried for hundreds of years, and not even remember what battle or war that was in. That's the life I led. I'm here to make sure they've got something different.
I can see why Silk made you a Greystoke. You hold truth to many of those old lines.
And Drosius will throw up in his mouth a little bit.
This is as you went up. This has just been
In that case, Josh threw up in his mouth a
Yeah,
little
Josh will throw up.
Exactly, yeah.
She goes, I too serve to free people. I have freed many from the slavery of others. That is what we have in common, Greystoke. The mantle you have taken since becoming what you have now become with the Fae, from what you were when you were birthed in the legions of Forstad, is much the same when I was trained to be a young lady in court and a cap burglar, to what I have become now, a princess and a queen to a realm.
I hope I'm deserving of the trust that the people are placing in me.
You earn it and gain it like I did. And I see that you have a strife relationship with the elf, Androsius. Tales say he has a very dark time. He's come hard.
We come at these greater conflicts from different perspectives. I only know what I know. He knows what he knows. Our accords at this point are we both understand and respect that each of us has a different perspective, and as long as our immediate goals are in concert, our conflict will remain verbal sparring. We'll cross the other bridge if that comes to pass, but I continue to seek understanding, because one of our two perspectives, or both of them, are wrong. We both cannot be right.
One can always learn. That is what I have tried to put forth. But there are old practices and hard heads. My father was a lot like that, meticulous in his movement of all the pieces on the board. I just want to warn you, he has had heartbreak with what he has gone through. And I have learned much. I learned his history. I learned his world's history.
If I can, Princess, if ever there comes a time where the defense of the mortal realm depends on that information, please provide it. But until that time, please hold that confidence. I am seeking to bridge divides. That will happen when he tells me his story.
Do not send him to Fair, then. You will break him.
To where?
Fair, the place Jewing.
Okay.
Can I want you to take a... Give me a insight check, I guess. I'll give you an advantage.
$19.
Okay. Hal, you have not gone up the ladder. Okay? So you are witnessing this conversation between the two of them. HK, you were talking with someone who, when you left her, she had no idea what you were talking about. Now you're talking to her, and she knows more than you.
Yep.
So you're kind of getting an understanding that she picks up or has been finding a way to ascertain information at a rate that you have never, ever, amongst all your Titans, seen happen.
However, I don't know how long they were in the Fey realm.
You still know that that would take a long time, because if you go by your campaign and its length, and the things that you took to find information, and you kind of know what's at that court.
Yeah.
Because I didn't reveal to you about the library. Ilarion knows about the library.
Yeah.
And a couple other things. But I just want to kind of put out, because how you respond may put more to Hal as well. But you're just kind of like, she makes some statements, and you're kind of like all of a sudden getting the feel like she's got a different vibe with her because she's already in the know. Like when she came down, the first insight was, I already have a plan. We're already on the move. Let's go. This wasn't someone like, I need to do this in time and research. You did know she probably picked on that, but still the amount of information she's downloaded in her head is at a rate that you would find massive, because you're talking about all the stuff that's crashing down. It broke Androsius in front of you. How is she able to withhold all that information? That's your first instinct. And you may take.
I don't think I'll comment on that, but beyond what I said, I'd like, unless it's pertinent to the, an immediate life or death kind of situation, I don't want her to divulge somebody's secrets to me.
Okay.
And both. I think HK in general feels that wouldn't be poor, and I also think as a Tyrion, that just feels unfair, unbalanced. Like, providing me an unfair advantage in a situation where I'm trying to sort things out. And like I said, I'm trying to bridge gaps and build friendships and trust. Me knowing things about somebody in some clandestine way is not a way to do that. HK recognizes the value of spies and information.
Yep.
But he is not.
Okay. So you all right? You take all that in and just head up the ladder. Hal, you will go. You are next to go up the ladder. Do you say anything?
My lady, if I may, you seem to have caught on and worked very quickly. When first you arrived, you were just getting to know the situation, and now you seem to be 10, maybe more steps ahead.
A good spy knows to get as much information as possible on our situation. Hal of Jacksonport.
A little smile appears on his face. Impressed, and yeah, he's gonna go up the ladder and he's gonna make sure he takes some note of this, and really, he's gonna want to observe her more because she's definitely caught his interest.
Okay. Again, she just seems to kind of smile, letting you kind of go in, but you get a confidence vibe, like she's already figured all of you out. That's how you feel about her. Russell, you're next. Welcome aboard, Russell.
Princess Queen Mira.
Has gone a bit crazy, yes, Russell. We don't need to continue that if we want HK to be more calm. She says something, and a flower, a lily, sprouts from her hand. She hands it to you and goes, "Being part of the Fae and its touch has an aspect of beauty we can all cherish, Russell." I think your service to the Autumn Queen is quite commendable. I am sorry that you once served to help the Summer Night, but you have stayed loyal to the Autumn Court, and I know they will appreciate your service as you continue it.
That goes hard.
T goes up and he goes, "How the hell you know all that shit?" Yes, T. I find things out. For the good. Just want to make sure you know I want to understand and help all of us if we run into anything bad or feel bad. I usually do that over a drink. Right, Russell? Well, at least it ain't nothing to do with vampires. Let's get up this ladder. Alaron, you're up on the you make your how you're making your way back up.
Yeah, it's
Ladder, fly.
alright. I'll just take the ladder. I don't need to fly.
Okay.
Do I have free reign of the ship? Can I just walk around, or
On the ship? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no guards.
is there anybody in that library?
Nope.
Alright. I'm gonna go to the library. Do
Okay.
some reading.
Will do.
I'm gonna think about books that would involve Mira and the Black Sapphire and Arthur.
Okay. I like it. Alright, you will find out that there is 2 tomes. One of the tomes is definitely something of a ledger of the Black Talon's activities. And the Black Sapphire is in it, and she is the organization's high-priced cat burglar. At start, she took things from nobles to be used from the heads of the circle to blackmail them into confiding in control to the king of Erlandon. Within 6 months, she was given command to build a northern faction of the same organizational group. And she began recruiting and operating out of a place called the Chateau. But she had very little involvement with not many people within the Talons organization. She was a hands-off, eyes-off agent. And through most of the stuff you read about the Talons, very weird that she isn't attached to a lot of stuff. She just keeps, she's off this weird branch off the Master Circle, and nothing else tells you anything with that. The other part is another tome that just says, for most of the part, they know of the Flower of the North, she was sort of called, the noble daughter to Reginald Haldane and his wife. And they ruled a heavy part of the kingdom's agricultural resources, which put him in a pretty good position of the nobility. It was not until the king, using a paladin group of Mercian called Habathu Beers, started to massacre and enslave the people, punish them, put a lot of pressure on the populace, that Reginald Haldane rose to become the rebel king until he basically took the kingdom by some mysterious strike team that Princess Haldane orchestrated. During the campaign, there's only one other notation that was off, that there was a very large battle called River Run, where more exploits of Mira as Princess Haldane and a priest called Beauregard defeated numerical forces that they were heavily outnumbered, but yet came out away with hardly less than half a dozen people in casualty. It is an absurd recollection of the tale, but it apparently is historically accurate, and it kind of shows her military capabilities. Struck 3 different locations with several different small guerrilla teams, and like I said, literally took the battle from paladins of this Mercian. Other than that, she's been known more as the other stuff in there. She's been more of a flight dandy of the court of the city. She's really, really obscure. Then as you're complexing, there is a small little volume next to the ones that you had pulled. And it is something of a ledger from this Fey being called Lodi.
Lodi?
Lodi. And in it, you get something of the intricate designs for my Petal of Summer. And I'm going to leave it at that, because I'm going to let Lee write whatever the fuck he wants to about that shit. Because I don't know it. Well done, guys. We definitely have another session. And apparently Mira is going to take you guys to the Lich.
Oh.
This isn't going to go badly at all.
No, this is going to be We have a plan. We're gonna execute it. Nothing goes bad.
Nothing goes bad.
We never have to plan for throwing away the plan at all.
Okay, so tabletop guys. Either the 22nd or the 29th works for me. I can't do the other 2 dates before because I'm trying to do some makeup time.
Let's see. I said the 22nd or the 29th?
Correct.
I have on
The
my calendar.
22nd is old ways, right?
Yeah.
Oh, is it always?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So we have to do the 29th.
I think I can do the 29th, but I might
Lady in?
not be able to. My wife and I are going on vacation the day after that, and we've actually been talking about leaving a day early, so I may not be available the 29th. But I don't know at this right minute. Right now it's open, but that's something that we talked about.
Yep. That's fine. I mean, if you can't, that's not, I'll play out whatever they are.
Yeah. How's the 6th? No, it's October, but...
Oh, to push it back one more day? I mean, one more week?
Yeah.
I'm not going to be available that day. I'm going to be out of town.
Okay, so I want this to be more for Jacob then. I definitely want him to be around for this. So let's do the 29th. If you can or cannot, or if you want to be late, that's also fine.
Yep.
And we'll work it that way if that works.
Yep.
If everyone's cool with that.
As a reminder, I will be late, or I could be late.
Yep.
And I'll be showing up in garb.
In Gob. All right, well, we'll see you guys the 29th. Thank you very much. And we will find out more as me and Lee have now broken worlds, and now we are one in this bubble.
Yeah, I was gonna say before we
I
break
knew
up,
Verlandon sounded familiar.
is there any possibility we want to make that 7:30 as a start time? That way we've got give Jen a little bit extra time to get back and whatnot.
We can do 7:30.
Yeah.
That way,
Even 7:30 is tough. 8 is always better. 7:30 is tough.
Let's do 8 then. Let's just round it off.
Smack dab in the middle of that.
Let's just do 8.
That,
That would
Thank
be
you.
perfect. I should be more than back by then.
Okay. Hopefully
that
it
way
might be
we'll
a
make
little.
sure I've got dinner and stuff done.
Okay, yeah, Jenna might go in a little bit later. I know you work early. Is that okay if that's the case?
I will let you know if I need to tap out.
Okay, we'll do. All right then. Thanks everybody, and we will catch you again.
Good night, all.
Bye.